How do we start with my coffin? Hello.
There's no fucking countdown on this shit anymore. Anyway, what's up, 12 people out there in the Green Dragon? How you doing tonight? Tonight's subject is going to be, what do you think a revolution will look like? Anyway.
It's going to be all sunshine. It's going to be like in the movies, and we're going to have, like, so much cool stuff.
Right? Anyway, so I'm a little pitchy tonight. I really am. I know it. Because my arm still fucking hurts, and now I'm in a pissed off mood about it. So
it's gonna be like the Boondock Saints.
God damn it! What a beautiful day out, I have to say, here in Illinois. So how you guys doing tonight?
I've been better.
I'll be better tomorrow when I get Rebels package with my winnings.
Right?
And apparently my well, you can't see the air quotes, but I'm air quoting winnings.
He really wanted you to go out shopping for the ammo, Reb.
Yeah, well, we all don't get what we want now, do we?
Ain't that?
Me and Teeter. Never mind.
I could have put IOU in there, so.
Right. I'm gonna halfway expect it from now on.
Oh, that'll be the last time, I bet.
Oh, because it hurt you so bad, or what?
No, just because I only bet when I think I'm gonna win, and that was a win-win on me. Good on you, but that.
I'm a pretty good driver.
I couldn't drive across, multiple.
That's because you look like a terrorist. You got the Muslim beard on. I'm a fat guy. I'm a fat guy with nerd glasses. Nobody's expecting me to do shit.
Yeah. Plus, you probably got cruise control and.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I
got steel toe boots and no sense of speed.
Right. I got cruise control. Set that bitch at 5 over the speed limit, and I'm good to go all the way.
I'll be fucking honest though. I thought it was a sure bet too, man. I'll tell you, driving that many fucking states with paper tags out of Arizona.
Yeah.
Over 3,000 miles.
Yeah. How the fuck did you not get pulled over?
God. It's a mission from God.
You're lucky. You're lucky I don't live in that state. I would have came over to wish you a bon voyage, and I would have smeared ketchup all over your friggin' trunk. The back of your trunk.
Oh, little girl just said if you would have done that, that's her car. If you would have been dead.
She wouldn't have known until she got pulled over, and then when you say, "Oh, why'd you pull me over?" They'd just be like, "Well, it looks like you have blood coming out of your trunk."
Well, that we'd have to put like some kind of piece of female clothing or something hanging out back there.
Right.
Covered in red paint, looking like blood.
Guys are all dicks.
Well, but come on, you made it across fucking multiple states. Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, fucking Missouri, goddamn Illinois, and
New Mexico, Oklahoma.
Mexico,
yeah.
Oklahoma. And stopped once.
And back.
And back.
I
missed Kansas. I missed Kansas on the way back, but yeah.
Paper fucking tags. Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah. So, god damn it.
Yeah, in fact,
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be the mule.
You should get into the drug mule business.
Right, I should be the next mule.
Still,
nobody expects me. Yeah.
Hey DJ, you got a link? I sent you a link. Well, here I'll send it.
He don't want to come in here because we're going to talk about guns.
Well, we are going to talk about the revolution, what the fuck people think it's going to look like, because if you don't think cops are going to get assassinated in a revolution, then you're out of your goddamn mind.
Or
I want to talk about how right I am about, that they were always coming for the guns, and they're still coming for the guns, and they won't stop until they come for your guns.
No, and we know that. I mean, that's something that we've all expected up till this point and continue to expect.
You wouldn't be able to tell that from the YouTube gun people.
No, because they're not coming after their guns. Once again, it's everybody else's problem until it's mine. Yeah. As long as they're not coming after my guns, I'm not going to stand up. If they go after one of us, our guns, well, they were terrorists and they were always speaking shit on the Dragon all the time, so I'm not standing up for them. Because I kind of agree they shouldn't have guns. They're mentally unstable.
Yeah, you pretty much got the argument down for what most people probably think of us at this point. Especially after the fucking shit that went down in Vegas.
Yeah, everything in Vegas, you know what they're probably saying on their gun well, probably on their gun channels even too, is, well, those guys make us gun owners look bad.
Yeah.
No, I just wonder what they fucking really think a revolution's going to look like. I mean, voting hasn't changed shit in how many years, you know? So what, you think you're going to vote your next master in? You know, what do you think a revolution's going to look like? You think it's going to be bloodless? Come on.
Well,
now.
yeah, but now that they got a win in Virginia, the Tea Party, everybody's on the bandwagon of, oh, see, we can do it. We can change it from within the system.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
I wish we could, to be honest with you, but
So do
I think Ron Paul was our last hope, and that didn't work out. So I'm locked and loaded.
Well, I don't even think Ron Paul was the last hope. I think the hope was done before I was born, just by the way the system was set up.
Probably right.
You know? So, yeah, I'd like to think that it was Ron Paul, but I don't see it changing anything, whoever the fucking figurehead is. You know, because the Congress is too deeply embedded and ingrained in this whole corporate oligarchy we have now that is the United States.
Well, the president shouldn't be controlling shit. The president's supposed to be the boringest job there is to do. Because they aren't supposed to do nothing except for keep us protected from outside forces.
But it's not even them, dude. To me, seriously, Obama is just a figurehead. He really, he's parroting what somebody else tells him to say, in my eyes.
He's a PR man, but people get confused that he has ultimate power. He does not. He can't make any laws. He can't make any laws, right?
Not supposedly, but he is.
All he does is enforce the laws that Congress make. You know, his executive order, he can't change the Second Amendment. You know, I mean, people are paranoid, thinking that he can, by executive order, a stroke of a pen or a phone call or whatever I mean, nobody's going to jail. I mean, but still, he can't put pen to paper and change the Constitution in one swoop. The health care, the Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, whatever you want to call it, he didn't write it. And they tried that shit back when Clinton was in office, and that took the Congress to vote on to get passed. That wasn't an executive order, but people don't know how.
About that is that particular thing, the Affordable Care Act, was the Republican answer to Hillary Care.
Right.
Just to let you know that, for those of you that don't learn from history.
And the insurance companies wrote that.
People think that the figurehead's going to change, so it's going to change anything. It's not. It's not going to change. The dude who.
All we need to do is get a Republican in there, and everything's going to be sunny and roses.
Oh yeah. Like if we would have gotten fucking what's his name, Romney in there, that would have been awesome. The dude who outlawed guns in Massachusetts, that would have been great.
People have to have hope. They have to, bathe in their ignorance of what reality is. Well, the one thing I can tell you for sure is that, most people I don't think are going to register. They're not going to turn in. They're not going to comply when it comes to their firearms.
Okay.
And good luck taking them, pretty much.
Oh, they'll get some of them. They'll kick down some doors. They'll take some. And you're right. Most people do like California did back in the 90s, and they just bury them all. But then what? You're not going to have it when you need it. When
are you going to fucking step up, When's enough enough? What do they have to do in order for you to say no fucking more?
More pain. I keep saying this thing. They need more pain. They need shit to hurt more. They need their dollar to buy less. They need their cops on the corner actually beat them and demand ID from everybody walking by, not just the young kids with pants hanging down to their knees or whatever. You know, everybody needs to feel the same pain before anybody's going to strike back, dude.
Pisses me off because just I don't know.
And we don't feel enough of it. We get bread in circuses, right? Our food still, you can still buy it, right? My kids are at a carnival tonight, so there's your circuses, right? There's still carnivals going on here in America, right? People don't feel enough pain yet, you know, for them to rise up and do anything about it. Anyway, I don't know what people think. I mean, it'd be nice if we could have a quiet revolution. I don't see it happening, but it'd be nice. That's for sure.
Yeah. The way shit went down in Texas back in the 40s, that'd be great. But even then, shots were fired, so...
Yeah. But I got a son of military age, you know, who wants to go in the military. You think I want him, seeing him fighting a world war or seeing him fight against his own people in this country? No. I'm pretty
sure your son would not do that. So, on the other hand, I'm pretty glad that if he was in the military that he would actually take a stand on that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But my son, you know, he's not a stupid kid, thank God. You know, he's going to make his decisions the way he sees fit. I just try and help him see all angles of them.
Yeah. No, I would not feel bad if he went to the military, and as far as, you know, having to go up against Americans, because I don't think he would.
Yeah, well, actually, from what I was talking a little bit with my nephew, a lot of the subject is topic of conversation in at least his particular, amongst his peers, and they're all quite aware of what choice they're going to have to make if it's put to them like that. And I don't think the military is going to like their choices. So.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to go down that way. I don't think they're going to ask Americans to go and shoot Americans and whatever. I don't think they're going to use the military.
It's going to be mostly the police and the government agencies like the BLM, the people that they pay $15 an hour and then make them think that they're G.I. Joe with all this fucking tack gear.
Well, every federal organization has guns and ammo now. They have a militaristic department. You know, what is Health and Human Services or Social Security or IRS or, I mean, you know, there's a litany of I mean, why do they need weapons?
Yeah.
That's a damn good question.
Well, we're probably going to end up finding out.
Named had armed services since their inception, so it's not like it's something new.
No,
well,
I'm
the
not.
post office has, but I don't think the IRS has.
Yes.
Health and Human Services, Department of Education. I mean, NOAA. You know.
Yeah, NOAA. All of them. They've almost every federal organization like that's got some kind of an enforcement branch to it.
Yeah, NOAA has full-ass ARs and TAC gear and the whole bit. They got thousands of, millions of rounds ready to go. Right. I think that's what it is because we're so busy fighting other places, and they know that a lot of people that are going to the military are very conservative come from conservative families and would never do that. You know, so how do you make that easier? You go after some fucking NORAD where it's mostly Democrats anyway because they want to save whatever, you know, and here's some bullets so that we can fight the terrorists here at home. Okay, well, we don't like terrorists, so let's do that. Why else do you need 2 billion rounds of hollow points?
Yeah, I saw a report on that about all the different organizations ordering the stockpiles of ammunition and stuff, and then if you look at the amount of ammo that they're ordering compared to the number of actual agents who use it, and do the math there, it breaks down to less than 1,000 rounds per agent.
Yeah, why else would you need hollow points that you can't use overseas because of fucking the Geneva Convention? And then, why are you buying AK ammo? We don't shoot. They don't buy fucking AK ammo. Why are you buying that shit for?
Because when we give arms to other organizations, we don't give them M16s. We give them what they know.
Yeah, but they buy that shit overseas. Okay, they transfer weapons overseas. All that shit's done overseas. They buy the ammo directly from the.
They get it where they get the best deal.
Same with the weapons. They buy them straight from usually the Chinese and hand them out to whatever country they want to. That's not the kind of stuff they buy here in the United States commercially.
Meanwhile, they can't buy hollow points anyway. It's illegal to shoot it overseas.
Well, not for the terrorist organizations we supply, and that's what
No.
well, let's call them what the CIA calls them, freedom fighters. But
Mm.
we can give them anything they want because they're not regular militia or.
I found I found one other fucking brass case round. That's cool. Sorry. Go ahead.
Now you got a full magazine of AK ammo.
That's right.
What's up, Breeze? Oh, he's muted now. Hey, Fabrizio.
Hey, what's up? We are back. I'm fixing something home. I will be back in 5 minutes, okay?
Alrighty.
Sorry about that.
I'm going to shout out the room real quick, being we're already 15 minutes in. Let me update, switch account so I can unspam people. Mute. And here we go. Yep, spammer. What's up, BJ? How can I piss off Rev? Let's see. Let me count the ways. So, alright. What's up, Michigan Prepper? What's up, Southern Style? Save American Liberty. Caregivers out there. Ford Rocks is out there. What's up, Ford? Juliana Moore. Hello, Juliana. Camper Keith. Dozer. What's up, Doze? DJ's out there. I saw, you know what? This is fucking stupid. I don't see him. Whiskey Leach is out there. Riddle Girl's out there. John Aaron's out there. Now, I saw a DJ reply. It came up as spam, but I'm not seeing him in the comments section after I unspam him. God, I'm hating YouTube more and more.
You
I wish somebody would come up to an alternate universal version of this shit.
They do, but I mean they always have, but it's just never as popular. And I've been on different sites before, and as I said, it just sucks compared to YouTube. And
Yeah, I wish they get one that worked good. What's up, Jay Watt? I mean, how is it PornTube to work good? You know?
yeah,
And what is it, Xtube and all the rest of them and blah, 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 blah.
and YouPorn.
Yeah, whatever.
nice video, guys. By the way, I saw the one from your cool video.
Yeah, I got plenty more too. I got a video of Mule shooting my AR on Bumsky.
I think that there was part of it. I saw part of it already. I think, right? Was it one of the?
You saw my version.
Okay, your version. Yeah.
We all took our own video.
Okay.
I'll be using my version plus his version, so.
Wow, gonna be professional.
Kind of like I was hoping we were gonna do, Breeze.
Yeah.
I never figured it out, and he ended up just taking it straight off my computer because he was here.
Yeah, I can say. Yeah, like I said, next time I can send you the DVD too. I can make a DVD and send it to you because my mails might take forever. Or we can find a way to copy or come over to your house or
Right,
and
just
copy.
copy them or something. Because I'll tell you what, it's nice having multiple angles to certain shots.
Yeah, and next time I want to use the two different cameras too. I got a shitty one, a cheaper one that it's not dangerous if you can shoot it, and a nicer one that makes way better video.
Well, somebody said something in Stinger's dueling drums or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they thought that there was somebody actually holding the camera.
Uh-huh.
That comment, Sting, that it sounded kind of like the guy thought that?
I don't remember which comment that is, but I'm thinking that's funny as all hell.
Yeah. Well, that's the impression I got off of him.
Well, I know you had said in the video, but I edited it out, was, I don't really feel comfortable with Riddle Girl back over there, and she's going to move, right? I'm like, well, yeah.
Okay. The wifey wants in. Let me see. Does she want in the chat room or does she want in? Let me ask her. Okay.
Yeah, we got to get this ladies' night figured out here soon.
And here's how she'll get in. Let me send oh, is it Mr. Mama? I might not even have her as a fucking.
Anyway, what's up? Any news, anyone?
Okay.
We're all fucked. Same old same.
Uh-oh. Problem with YouTube?
YouTube, I'm uploading video here and there. I still want to make a video about how people can help out Kansas if they watched that video of me giving him that rifle and they want to help donate, but they weren't in the original. There's plenty of ways to donate, so I want to hopefully make a video. I was going to do it today, but I was talking with Mule and them for a while, so I didn't get to it. My own fault.
Let me know. If you need a little help, always nice. Magazines, whatever.
Yeah, magazines, ammo, always ammo. Little things here and there.
DJ. Hey, hey, third. DJ says turn on the camera and do the NSA shuffle.
There she is.
Why am I seeing this shit in the fucking coming up as spam, but it's not ending up in the room?
Hey, Mama Mule.
Hey, honey. You know you're on live, right? Say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on?
What's up?
What do we owe the pleasure?
I was just trying to get in the chat room. I don't know how to do that.
All right, well, I'll send you the link to the other. She's at work.
All right.
She wanted to troll.
Right? She wants to troll me.
I do. Gotta make sure you're staying out of trouble.
Not like that's going to happen.
Right?
She knows better.
Well, her version of trouble is probably a lot worse than my wife's version of trouble.
Yeah, she just don't want me ending up in prison. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I got enough bail money when the time comes.
Love you, baby.
Love you.
You got your link. Now get the hell out of my bar.
Absolutely.
Well, shoot, we can.
Good enough.
We got her in here. We can get Riddle Girl to jump on.
Telling you, we need a ladies'
We'll
night.
do a co-ed.
Ladies'
Co-ed
night.
night.
You guys are back from your trip. Now we can arrange a ladies' night.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Right? I know Katie's in, right? As you can tell, my old lady's in. She don't give a shit.
See?
Well, your lady works, and so does mine. So we're all gonna have to figure out what time's best for all the women that works with their work schedule.
Because most of us have working women folk,
Yeah. Does your wife, Mule? Does your wife have set days off?
No, not really. Every other weekend.
Okay.
That's the only set day she has. Otherwise, they fluctuate sometimes depending upon scheduling.
Right.
Because hers is mental health thing. All right, especially people with permanent disabilities, kind of, the permanently disabled, mentally disabled. They've all, at least here in Illinois, they're all private companies anymore, and they work for, try and make sure they earn a profit, right? And so, believe me, is it better than, say, some of the original insane asylums? For sure. But is it a great life for some of those people anymore? No. There's not like there's not like money out there for them to enjoy life for the most part, you know. It's just a hard business, that kind of full-time healthcare kind of position.
Well, it's hard anyway because you're seeing these people in their, in their bad moments, and for a lot of them there is no getting better, and it's kind of sad.
Well, and yeah, I mean, these are permanently, these are adult, mentally disabled people, and in a lot of ways physically disabled, and people like my wife, they give them the best quality of life they possibly can, but at one time, when the economy is doing good, then people are kind of freer with their money, and so they'll donate time, they'll donate stuff to help people. Even families of these people will come and do more things with them, give them a better quality of life. But when everybody's hungry and has to work 2 jobs and struggle to get by, that sorry to say, but a lot of charity falls to the wayside in that way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's how they plan it.
And it's just sad because the people...
They don't want people to be charitable because they want the government... You need the government to do whatever. You don't want to have self-reliance of any kind, especially if, you have people taking care of people that aren't the government.
Yeah, it's just sad, because, they are nice people once you get to know them, and that's why I'm glad my kids have been around them their whole lives. They've never given somebody a second glance just because they're, have Down syndrome or some kind of mental or physical handicap. So, what's up, HDP? You missed me.
I was about ready to leave. I think I'm in the wrong chat.
Well, you missed meeting my wife.
Oh, was she on here earlier? She
stopped
down
me
the
for a
line.
minute.
Okay.
We get to see her on the ladies' night.
But yeah, you'll get to see her on ladies' night. But yeah, so the original topic for tonight, and it's going to continue to be the topic, is what do you think a revolution will look like? This thing drives me crazy, okay, about the whole Las Vegas thing, right? Before those people shot those cops in Vegas and laid those flags down and said that it's about the revolution, there were plenty of people in this chat and all over YouTube and everywhere you go that were talking that same shit anyway, right? And then the second it happens, all of a sudden everybody's putting the brakes on, saying that's not the way the revolution's supposed to go. It's supposed to be all nice and clean and
you're not supposed to shoot him in the back of the head. What the fuck? You're not supposed to shoot him in the back of the head. There are no fucking rules at that point.
Well, I don't understand because I've been telling people from the very beginning that if we do end up in a revolution, it's going to be violence and death and innocents getting killed, and children and women and all the rest of that. And so here, maybe if baby step, long step, whatever you want to call it, but the first step happens, and all of a sudden everybody wets their panties and fucking runs away.
But that wasn't a first step.
Well, it wasn't.
Because it was 2 sheriffs on their lunch break. They
So
weren't.
Okay.
They're still wearing a costume.
That's nothing. That had nothing to do with anything.
Well, no, I'm not saying it did. I'm not saying, but it does. It is kind of a first step because you know what I mean. At least in some of the ones that I've studied, some of the revolutions that I studied, yeah, shit like that does happen. That's the way it does start. Right?
Well, everybody wants the government again.
No, it starts when they kick in somebody's door and they're holding their kids at gunpoint and they're abusing their wife, and the neighbors come over and they take them out.
If that's the case, then it started years ago.
No. Listen, you didn't hear what I said. You hear the end of it. And the neighbors come over and take them out. That's how something like that gets started.
That's a
when
better
people
start.
join together, it takes people joining together. A person or 2 people, or even 3 or 4, just going out and doing something on their own for just to start or to what they perceive as starting something.
It's the wrong way to go about it. Yes, I agree with you.
You're feeding the propaganda, and it's pointless because there was always there has to be aggression from the other side that is you react to. You can't just say there
Can
was
we
a
react
past
to all
grievance.
the oppression that's been around for years?
Did those two sheriffs have anything to do with that? If
But
you can prove
I
it,
agree
sure.
with you on
But-
that, EP. You know, and you're right. In fact, and we've said that here 1,000 times that we're going to wait until the end of time if we have to, because they have to be the aggressors for us to come out smelling like roses, right?
Well, you don't have to smell like roses, but
Well, you know what I mean. To be on the side of the angels, whatever you want to say, to be able to stay, however you want to, way you
be
want
justified in the eyes
Right.
of more than just yourself.
Right.
That's a very critical.
Crispus Attucks died first before anybody else started shooting back.
Well, first of all, if it was up to me, I'd go after the cops that shot people and got away with it. Or, we see that on the news all the time. Those are the people that I wish they had gone after, right? Instead, they went after two random fucking cops or, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm just saying. I don't think that you got to wait again for another violent act from the police in order to do something about it.
Well, yeah, we're definitely going to have to wait now, because if we go on the attack, if not we, not like talking that any of us would do it, but anybody trying to represent themselves as the freedom movement, yeah, it's gonna. You're starting out bad. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. Is what they did. While, however, they felt justified about it, it starts out bad. Like HDP said, if they were kicking in the door and a neighbor came to help people being killed while they're getting swatted, right? Then that's different. Then that looks differently. But it doesn't matter now. It started, right? They're already going to start coming against us harder and harder every day.
Well, we already discussed this, I think, last time in the Dragon, too, is no matter how you think it's going to be perceived, it's going to be perceived bad. Whether it's good or bad, what you think is good is still going to be portrayed bad. So who are you trying to...
Especially at the start.
You got to get the people on the fringe. You got to get the people on the borderline.
Well, that ain't
that are
ever
still out
fucking
there.
happening because they're too busy with their iPods. And, I mean, anytime a cop dies, it's like, oh, we can't have that. Whereas
And I'm sure Samuel Adams said the same thing about people drinking grog in the tavern, that they would never happen. But
Adams was the fiery one, that's for sure. And, I mean, the Sons of Liberty did a ton of dastardly shit. I was studying up on them a little bit today.
Mm-hmm.
And, they snatched up, they would tar and feather people. They killed a captain of a sailing ship that they burned, HMS Leslie, I'm thinking.
Well, the only reason why we
Sounds
think
right.
positively about why we think positively about our founding fathers is because they fucking won. If they had
Exactly.
lost, they would have been terrorists.
Yep.
And so to think that anybody doing anything today is going to be looked upon as anything other than terrorism is naive.
Yeah. And we've talked about it a dozen times. That's why I didn't understand all this backpedaling when these people did this. Right? Because we've talked about it 1,001 times. I know, like I said, I used to hear stories off my grandmother's knee about them capping cops in their front doorstep in front of their kids.
Yeah, what did those cops do to anybody at that time? Nothing. They wore a uniform.
The Brits were pretty brutal to the Irish, believe that. But
Right, but what did those cops that they shot do to anybody at the time to deserve it at that moment?
they were
Nothing,
on
mostly.
Collins' list. That's all it took.
Well, just wearing a fucking uniform should get you on that list at some point. We talked about that many times. Cops wearing uniforms. Anybody wearing a uniform is a target. Well, what's the problem with this one? They were wearing uniforms at the CC's Pizza.
Well, like you
I've
said,
said it before. You need something more than something happening that people that would watch this chat or anybody on this panel would see as bad. You need something to happen that those that are, like HTP said, that are sitting on the fence, that aren't sure where they stand on it. You need something to happen that they can see and be like, oh crap, this is happening. Something's got to be done.
and that's why Bundy Ranch caught the people's attention, right? The BLM overstepped their bounds, tasering and sicking the dog on those people, and there was already a call out, and people were heading that way, and the BLM had snipers in the hills, and that's where it got people's attention, right? Those two clowns in fucking Vegas, they jumped the gun, you know what I mean? And they were psycho. Or not even psycho. You know what? They were people who reached the end of their rope and decided to go do it their way.
So,
was the right way?
maybe.
No.
so are you saying that you believe the official story that those two morons pulled that off?
No, but I gotta play devil's advocate because that's the narrative that's going out, dude. We can talk about how the fact that it was two Hawaiian guys in Hawaiian shirts who actually capped the cops, and if you look at the video of them, their supposed last stand, you're not seeing blood splatter. You're not seeing shit that you normally would. Now, is that all 100%? I don't know. I question everything these days, but I'm just going by what their official line is being laid out as and playing it from there. Right? Because I don't believe Sandy Hook. I don't believe 9/11. I don't believe the Gulf of Tonkin. You know, I can go down. I don't believe Iran-Contra. You know.
Well, stuff happened. It's just the narrative and how it happened is the difference.
Yeah. So,
I mean, people died, but how it all went down is the difference.
right, is the bigger question. You know, and when you look at it, even if it went by the way they're saying, right, where they capped two cops, the guy they shot was a concealed carry holder who was about to shoot the guy, who was about to shoot the man or whatever, right? Then they really didn't go against any civilians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it was mainly a psyop to get the cops that are on the fence to say, you know, look, we told you these Americans are dangerous, and you know, they're gonna kill you.
It's definitely to make the Bundy Ranch look even worse, if nothing else.
Oh, for sure.
Anybody that supports freedom, like the Bundy Ranch, you're racist. Now you're terrorists, and now you're cop killers.
Well, don't think flying your fucking "Don't Tread on Me" flag outside your door now gets double look from people.
You mean the big sign on the back of my truck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody taking them off their trucks, so when I see somebody that's I know that has them that they take it down, I'll start getting worried.
Right, and you live in Nevada, so that's saying something. You know. You'd think people would be a little more nervous in Nevada after it happened in Vegas. So.
Well, the thing I'd like to bring up is the MIAC report came out in 2009, and it pretty much told all of us, point blank, that we are the enemy number one. We're the boogeyman. We're the domestic terrorists. We're the ones to worry about.
Well, it's kind of convenient that this thing happened in the same week that, you know, DOJ's announcing they're restarting that domestic terrorist unit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did somebody say conspiracy?
Hi, Katie.
Hi. I'm ready.
Oh, look, you got a 10-foot
Conspiracy Katie,
hat on.
Are you coloring your hair?
Fences, ain't you?
I'm ready. I'm ready here. I say false flag.
Well, that's what. And it could definitely well be, as I said, you know, as I was saying, you know, this makes us look bad. They obviously watch what we say. Maybe they're actually a little bit worried about it since the Bundy Ranch, because they actually had to back the fuck down, and now, you know, they got to paint that in the worst light possible. They don't want anybody getting any ideas that they can just go around there and fuck with the government, and the government will back off.
Hey, Mule, Patriot Eagle's out there. Can I send him a link?
Yeah, send him one. He hasn't been in a while.
He's got a pretty good perspective on this type of stuff too. He's you know.
He hasn't been in a while. Bring him on in.
Right. See if he wants to come in.
Do you want a hat too? I'll make you one.
Yes, you can have a friend, HTP.
Oh no, he's more on your side than mine. Don't worry. It's not like he's on my train of thought.
It's pretty bad.
And we went to Revolution over a 3% tax, or
well, multiple.
Maybe
taxes.
that was the reason. Right.
The Stamp Act, the T Act.
We should have lit this fucker off a long time ago.
Yeah, taxation without representation. I was actually, like I said, looking through some of our history.
And yeah, Washington and all them, they did some dastardly shit, man. Some sick fucking shit. But they're the good guys because they won.
Oh yeah, they burned loyalist houses, killed their children, killed everybody, everything they own, burned their houses to the ground. Just like the same thing happened to the Patriots, right? The Brits and the loyalists did exactly the same thing to the Patriots.
Mhm.
They didn't fuck around. You know, they just did it with a lot. But you know, they didn't get 30 rounds per mag. They got 1 round per ball. You know,
Doesn't even matter. Even if it lit off tomorrow, and it was for all the right reasons, so everybody felt good about themselves, stuff is still going to happen. Innocents are still going to die, and it's going to come down on us.
Well,
I don't think I've kind of highlighted this, but I'm still of the mind that we need to. I guess I don't know how to do this or how we'd go about it, but the separation is still between federal and state, or federal and local. We don't want to cause chaos in our communities with people who live in our communities, essentially, because the fight's still at that higher level. That's kind of the way I
It's
see
going to
it.
be like the Civil War, though. Some of your neighbors are going to be on your side, and some are not.
It doesn't. But I'm saying you don't start it by just starting chaos in your community against somebody who's not. I mean, I still don't consider in this area where
fight isn't as much against your town as it is against your federal government. Not
Right.
against your state, right?
Unfortunately, your town is going to be against you. I mean, all you have to do is look back at the Civil War.
But that just depends, see, because
So no, that depends. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The southern states, the ones that were separating themselves from the Union, were all for their guys joining their militia and standing up for their state and their community and everything else, protect it. You know? So it will depend, and that's why it can't. It has to be something bigger, right? That little start off. Now, I'm not saying. I never said it was a good thing. That's not going to start it off. That little.
The only thing, I mean, when we've talked about dealing with local law enforcement or state law enforcement, whatever, that was more in a collapse scenario where everything falls apart, and that's at least that's the way I've always viewed it. When people would start taking vengeance out at the local level on those types of people, but when you're talking about an actual standing up in revolution, the fight is against the federal level. Ultimately, if you could remove federal control from your state.
Right, but isn't the fight against that person who's shooting back?
Well, if that person is shooting back, but nobody was shooting back in this scenario. There was nobody shooting anybody.
Yeah, they were.
No, I'm not saying in this scenario. Sorry.
And there was no incident where the Clark County Sheriff had.
Actually, there was somebody who shot back. It was the CCW, and they killed him because of it. They didn't want to go to war with the CCW, but they got shot because of the fact that they caused a threat. It's the same thing in a revolution. You know, you don't want to go after the local people, but the local people, they're going to come after you.
Especially if you're not identified as what side you're fighting on. Those two have presented themselves as just some chaotic, gun-toting nuts. I mean, what else is any citizen going to do in their community?
Right.
When you're not sporting a uniform or facing off against an armed foe, people have to make snap decisions. That's why I talk about it has to be large group. You have to be organized. It has to be more like the Bundy Ranch than what happened Sunday for sure.
I don't think the government would allow a large group. As soon as you started a large group, you'd be done.
You don't think they're going to allow another
what
Bundy
happened to
Ranch situation? Is what you're saying?
Well, they're probably going to try to avoid them for sure. Propaganda-wise, they don't want that situation again because it failed them.
Right, but they're not going to stop people from gathering. You know, not unless it is like.
Well, that would expose them. So then we would justify, be like, hey, see, look, you know, what we've been talking about is true.
But yeah, I think the Bundy situation was a perfect one to see. You saw where the locals were watching, but they didn't involve themselves in it. And it didn't reach a point where they had to make that choice. Now, when they came back, they talked about how they were scared or whatever. But at the time when you were there, when you and Tony were there, HDP, They were just directing traffic and watching shit go down, right?
Oh, the local law enforcement? Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't sweating it at all. Oh, and like we talked about later, and that when they did those 2 interviews with Lombardo and the other sergeant or whatever he was, that was total propaganda because at no time were they threatened, intimidated. They were just chilling.
Right.
I mean, and there was no reason for them to be anything but that because nobody was hostile towards them.
Right, or even towards the feds. I mean, whereas people had guns, they weren't like actually. Most of them weren't pointing them at the feds and saying, "Come get it." You know.
Yeah. And it was pretty clear the instructions. You know, alert to the dirt, muzzle down. That was pretty much everybody's stance. Or keep it in the holster. Only that one guy on the bridge, was the only thing that I've seen of anybody even remotely with guns up.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen too. But and that would have went wrong. It would have been a different ballgame, right? That would have been the Concord moment.
Well, you've already lost the court of public opinion. Everybody thinks you're all a bunch of racists anyway.
Now,
second of all, if it had a lid off,
that won over some people too, though.
Okay.
Because they saw that the federal government could be backed down, and they saw that people could join together and not just go haywire and do their own thing. And they remained cool, and they weren't just a bunch of nut jobs. We won people over by that too.
But that scared the shit out of the left wing, dude.
You also scared a lot of people away, though, that we're all gung-ho, yeah, we need to do the Bundy Ranch. Oh, wait a minute, they're racist? Never mind. And they backed the fuck off. I say you lost more people than you gained.
No, I don't think so.
Well, now...
Because that racist claim didn't come out until, what, a week later? 2 weeks later? And that was completely contrived propaganda, which was easily refuted, and it was shown exposed for what it was.
Look, HD, only if they wanted to look to refute it.
Well, the thing is, they had to be looking to even get the report that it was a racist claim. If you were still paying attention at that point, you were involved, you were invested enough to follow up.
Well, they were talking that all over the mainstream media.
Yeah, only the left-wing nut job, the hard left wing would be, falling for it. Well, they were putting it out there, but
no, Hannity came out. Well, it depends on what timeline you're talking about, but Hannity and all the people that were supporting them backed the fuck off real quick once he said that shit. Because they were all about supporting them.
I think this is more a hurt than a help of what happened on Sunday, and it's more of an act of terror than it was an act of freedom fighter, that's for sure.
Well, I even agree with that. I'm not saying, I won't talk on that.
Well, no, and that just is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about 2 levels of different revolution here between me and Tony's talked about it. I see the fight against the federal government. A lot of you guys see the fight against any type of control, which, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of local stuff that's messed up. But if you can separate the federal government, and the bought-out, banker-owned, corporate-owned government, federal government, the states can be corrected a lot easier.
Yeah, and that's the truth, especially here in Illinois. This is the most fucking tough state.
I've said it once, and I've said it a million times. Secession is the most peaceful answer, but who knows how far that it would get.
Well, we saw what that happened about, over 140 years ago?
Well, I mean, when you have a tyrant as president, which we have now, I mean, of course, they would use military force again, but they don't have the same advantages they had then either, depending on what states decided to do it, because you're talking about military, industrial base, and everything else like that that goes along with that hurt the South. So there's a different frame of reference.
Right. Yeah, they were much more agriculturally based.
Oh, they had no industry. I mean, the industry they had was almost, destroyed in the first couple of years, except for they moved to Alabama, which was not the best place for what they did. I mean, railroad, transportation networks, all that stuff. I mean, but then you're talking about conventional warfare too. I mean, who knows how this would go down unconventionally?
Oh, it would be a guerrilla fighting.
In their beds.
Yeah. What's going on, everyone?
Hey, there he is. Hey, I just saw your comments on the video. Thanks. But I knew you'd have some good comments for this conversation.
Hey, man, you know, I've always got something to say if it's important, you know. I care about America, so
America.
Well, I think one thing before I'm going to dip out for a second is that we're going to see more of this the more desperate people get, where they're going to be doing desperate, crazy shit. You know, more of this lone wolf kind of thing, or you know what I'm saying?
I left HDP. What's your first name?
Chuck.
I can't hear you.
Chuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to research that.
As I kind of threw in there on your video, you know, maybe, you know, just maybe, you know, really I've heard a lot of different things, negative things about these two Patriots and not wanting to be associated at all with them. And I've looked at their profiles, I've looked at all the stuff they've got on there, and to be honest with you, I mean, really, they are no different than any of the other Patriots or people that call themselves such that I've talked to or just seen online for the last 3 years alone. You know, the subject matters, the things they talk about, the things they like. I mean, who are we to say they're not real Patriots? I don't know. I mean, I question that because I don't, as I mentioned on your video, Chuck, I didn't like the fact that they killed a guy in Walmart. And, you know, of course,
they had no choice. I mean, they had no choice but to kill him.
Yeah, from a tactical point of view, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, you're going to do that. So
if that guy, now that's the great point. Let me just jump in here real quick. The CCW guy.
I just fucking said this 5 minutes ago. Listen,
I stepped out. Never mind then.
No, I wasn't ditching at you. Go ahead, Rev.
I'm just going to say, if you're carrying a gun, it's your responsibility to be aware of your surroundings. It's your responsibility. If I'm in that Walmart, that scenario goes down, and some yahoo pulls a gun out in close proximity to me, they're not in uniform. They're not shouting out that they're, you know, off-duty police, yada, yada, yada. Chances are, if you're close to me, you're getting taken down. So for all you heroes and cowboys out there, you pull out a gun in a public place, you might not need to worry about your suspect. You may need to worry about the next closest guy to you that has his family that doesn't know you from shit, and you pull out your gun trying to be a hero. Just saying.
Well, the thing is, you're not being a hero. That's what I'm talking about. You got to draw the battle lines more clearly.
Well, and that's what got this guy killed, right? The concealed carry holder. He saw the dude jump into the Walmart, fire a couple rounds in the air, tell everybody to get the fuck out. He draws his weapon. She comes up behind him and caps him, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that the CCW tried to step in there, and I'm not sad that the cops fucking got caught. So that's the category I fall into.
Is that Tony talking?
No.
No.
I don't know everybody in here. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No worries.
That sounds like old Tony.
Dang.
She got real, that's what.
I'm just saying, if you pull out a gun in a public place,
oh, you're right.
You have more to worry about than whatever you're focused on, because I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
That's why.
And
as soon as you pull out a gun, you're a threat to me.
Yep.
At that point, because you're not shooting in the air telling everybody to get out. I don't know if you're with them. I don't know what you are, except stupid for not taking cover. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for the CCW. I think they did exactly what they thought needed to be done. I would have done the same damn thing if I was there. I think all of us would.
Yeah.
But that is the chance you take by doing it. And,
no, that's totally not true.
Oh, okay.
Totally not true. I would have avoided imminent danger at all possibility.
I mean, if they wanted to, and that's why it doesn't make sense, and that's why, going back to what you said, Patriot, Eagle, I don't think they were in the right minds, and I think it is a manipulated scenario because of all the way it went about and the propaganda. It's theatrical in its nature, and it was too easy propagandized. You know, if they went in there, shot the 2 cops, mafia style, and left, and you just disappeared, that's one thing. But when you go in there, you cap the cops, they put the flags over them, they say this is a revolution, and they run into the Walmart. What was the point of going into Walmart?
They wanted to have apparently they wanted a shootout with Metro. They didn't want to shoot the people in there.
But why didn't they have a shootout with Metro?
Well, I guess the Walmart in their mind gave them some kind of cover inside, So
but they didn't wait for Metro to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, Metro showed up, but once Metro got there, they killed themselves. That's not.
Well,
that's not.
Fade back into the woodwork, because I mean, yeah, if you're gonna do a hit, you're gonna just fade back into the woodwork.
Right. That's the thing. You're gonna jump back in the car and fucker. Sorry.
Well, they didn't have.
It is entirely possible that these 2 people were complete plants, but we don't really know that, and it's I guess it's up in the air.
If you're going to do a hit, you're going to flee the area completely.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about raid tactics, that's not the way to do it. If I'm going to go do a raid, meeting Rebel, trust me, it ain't going to go down like that.
I was telling a friend of mine about this, and I said, that's not my style personally. I would not go out up to a situation like that. I'd rather be covered and protected and take my shot from behind the scenes where you don't see me. These guys, they just kind of ran in there and did that real quick and ran to the Walmart, and I mean, maybe they watched too many movies. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because I mean, I'll tell you what, even that situation happened a lot back east in the mafia days, right, when they were whacking each other all the time. Somebody would be sitting at an Italian restaurant and get whacked, and what would happen? The shooters would fade, right? Rarely ever getting arrested. They would end up in landfill themselves somewhere, right? But they wouldn't fucking hang around or run to a goddamn Walmart. Yeah, the whole thing just makes
to be fair, they probably didn't have Walmarts at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Macy's.
You get to buy more ammo. They run inside Walmart to buy more ammo. I don't know.
Well, they didn't even go to the gun section. They went back like the back corner of automotive or something.
Okay. They was looking for Slurp or something like that, I guess. Slurpee or something like that.
They wanted some lead additive.
I could almost buy running back to the gun section, right? Because if it was a Walmart, a lot of them these days have Bushmasters back there and shotguns and shit, right next to the ammo. So, you just pick up the right person.
Oh, yeah, load up.
Right?
Especially in Nevada. In Nevada, it's almost guaranteed. So you'd have plenty to.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
No.
And they were out of their minds. That's why I don't think that they were part of the. I mean, they've said a lot of things about the cause, but I don't think they were in their right mind when they did this. And
no,
especially that's my point of that video, Patriot, is there's so little history on her that it's almost exactly like a setup.
Yeah.
And nobody's investigating her either.
The provocator.
I went on her profile earlier, checking out her pictures and everything. Obviously, they're dead now, so I can't request to add them. But I was looking at the pictures and stuff, and she looked as normal as my wife. I mean, you look at her and she's kind of cute. They got a Challenger. I mean, damn, they're traveling and shit. Hell, they look like everyone else.
Right.
So.
And yeah, with their profiles, they look just like any of ours, legitimately.
And of course, they, was it the White House that tried to link them with the Bundy Ranch, them being there? Who was that did that?
Well, they had been there, but they were trying to say that they were like a real part of it, but they got kicked off because the militia leadership said, "You guys got to go."
What were they doing?
Well, they showed up and they had questioned them. They kind of. Because every time whoever showed up there, the militia would get an interview quiz, like who are you, what's your background, how much do you know, what's your skills, type thing. and he revealed himself. He was honest. He said he was a felon. They said, well, you got to go. I mean, you can't be carrying a firearm around here. So they told him to leave.
Is it corroborated though? Like people have come forward and said, okay, yes, they were here. We've seen them. Like
yeah, the actual militia. I can't remember his name now. Yes, yes, that's been collaborated.
Yeah.
I haven't been following the thing like super closely, but here's my thing: is like, okay, like after Columbine happened, it was everywhere and it was constantly on the news and they were constantly talking about it and there were pictures and this and that. Like, have there been pictures of this stuff put out, like of the crime scene and these bodies supposedly with the flags on them? Like, dude,
I saw a video today from the shooting in Walmart,
Huh.
Walmart or the pizza shop.
Yeah, where they committed the security footage from Walmart got. I mean, that's suspicious too because that's some pretty weak footage.
Right. And I'm tinfoiling here, so I can go either way with this. But it's just that all these flags draped over the bodies, and it's like, boy, that's really freaking dramatic. And it's like, we have evidence of this, or is this something they just kind of tacked in? Like, oh, how convenient. Well, let's tack this in. For all we know, these people could have been. What if they were like eco-terrorists and they were mad at the police department for using too much gasoline and it's hurting the fucking.
Think about this. I was looking at this guy's profile. All right, you mentioned dramatic. You guys have mentioned that a couple times. It kind of triggers something real quick. I'm looking at his profile, and he's got the Joker costume. He's dressed up as Joker.
Yeah.
And he's dressed up as Harley Quinn. Well, if you think about it, in the Dark Knight movie, the Joker is very dramatic, melodramatic. This guy is fucking overly dramatic. And it seems like the guy that, the husband was a big Joker fan, and maybe that's how he viewed himself. He was trying to be overtly dramatic.
Yeah, there's also the tie-in from Aurora, Columbine.
That's exactly where I went.
Not Columbine, Aurora and
Colorado.
the other shootout. They all had tie into the Joker. Sandy Hook had tie into the Joker and Batman.
The funny thing is
That's
everybody's forgetting basic police work, right? I mean, maybe none of you have watched a cop show, or none of you have friends that are cops or family, but there's an ongoing investigation. They don't release the names of anyone. They don't release any information until they've interviewed everybody and talked to everybody. They told you everything about these people before the friggin' shooting was over. Right. That's all you need to know. And if you still think that these two meth heads were capable of doing what they said they did, then you probably believe in the whole JFK story as well. Just saying.
Back into the left.
Yeah,
I'm just starting to wonder if the Batman isn't like the freaking playing card in Manchurian Candidate or something,
Exactly. And that's when you want to get down the rabbit hole, you talk about CIA mind control techniques and MK Ultra. It's that easy as having something that simple.
Well, yeah, we also there was that thing in Aurora after the shooting in Colorado. There was a thing in the Batman movie that said Sandy Hook area
on the map.
Right. Yeah, it was circled.
Whoa!
But it's only in one version on the DVD. On the DVD, it's in the extended version, but not in the shortened version or something like that.
It was in the theatrical version, though.
Yeah.
I've never seen them because I think they're all terrible, but that's just me. Sorry.
What about the Navy Yard guy that said he kept hearing voices telling him to do what he did?
He probably did.
In the hotel room. He said they were next door with the voices in his head, and then the government releases that they can do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all hear about the?
Well, wait. Don't we have to wait for a reason to shoot him?
Did any of y'all hear about this? Happened last week. I think right around the same time this happened in Georgia, Cummings, Georgia, the courthouse was attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that.
Well, and that's weird because I was watching a guy posted on, I think first I saw it on Facebook, right? And he was videoing it from a building across the way. And it sounded like somebody went up and put a bullet in the back of that guy's head after all the shooting was done. A little bit of a coup de grace. So, shit's getting crazy out there. And then this thing happening, it is going to turn, now the cops are going to be really anybody with any kind of flag on their fucking car is going to be watched.
Well, I've been telling everybody they shouldn't post anything on their car for a while. I mean, that's just advertisement for all sorts of bad shit. I see so many people with AR-15 stickers on the back of their car. I'm like, well, if I ever wanted to rob a house, I know exactly where I could get a couple AR-15s. All I have to do is wait for them to fucking leave.
I can get you that. I have an AK in the back of mine.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that either, and I told you about it. So.
I know, and that's why I can cop to being guilty.
Pretty much everybody around here has one, so.
I also have the little bit of Boondock Saintsy on there.
Well, yeah, but that's a little bit more camouflage than fucking AK. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it ain't at all. Anyway, I don't try.
If you want true camouflage, put some Obama stickers on your car.
Hillary.
I could do it.
Speaking of that, I was thinking I was going to go buy a Volkswagen and
yeah, everybody will know you're broke as shit.
A bunch of Hillary stickers all over this. Oh God, the bad news is, I'll have Tea Party guys flip me off and be like, no, I'm cool. I'm
right. But nobody's going to want to steal from you because they're all going to know you're poor as fuck.
Well, they might think I have weed.
No, there's a lot of rich people like that too that roll like that.
Or you're like,
you forgot about the upper middle class that voted for him.
Not in a crappy
Hillary on antidepressant. She's probably got Xanax.
All
those women who like Hillary are on Xanax.
Yeah, they got the good drugs, right?
Yeah, she's on prescription. She's an unhappy feminist. She's got to be on Xanax. So.
You all need to put a rainbow sticker on your car.
There you go. Yeah, coexist.
Yeah.
Care Bears.
Care Bears stickers. I don't bother you.
Well, there was something going around, and here's the unfortunate problem I have in my life is that, doing what I do, you tend to cross paths with a lot of liberal artists and whatnot, and it's really unfortunate. But I just kind of tolerate them anyway. But
I feel your pain.
Artists. Think about it. They're all. But there was this thing going around that everybody was making a big stink about, that this Moms Against Action or Moms Demand whatever the fuck it is put together that report about since Sandy Hook there's been 74 school shootings, and that thing made the rounds around Facebook and Twitter like bam bam bam. I mean, that thing was just popping up in my feed again and again, and people are just reposting it, and that was kind of a testament to me about this propaganda machine doesn't even have to work us anymore. It just has to kind of throw out a little chunk of meat, and then everybody dives in there and starts fighting with it and spreading. It's like bringing a piece of poison back to the rat nest that we're all sharing it with each other. Oh God, oh God, oh God! And then all of a sudden, CNBC or MSNBC, one of them of all people, comes out and said, "Oh yeah, we actually investigated this, and it's a bunch of horseshit." But which kind of makes me wonder with these things, like this whole thing with these cops and everything. Perhaps this is the part of some larger thing, like, okay, you know what, the Sandy Hook thing happened, and everybody kind of realized it was horse shit, and everybody started to question it, and nobody got really mad, and then, it's like, okay, going after kids clearly isn't working for us anymore. What can we do now? I know. Let's start having them kill cops. Everybody will feel bad about that, and everybody will get behind the, they're not getting behind the kids, they'll get behind the cops, part of me
hell no.
Which is disgusting. But
we almost got a better day. Did you hear about the chief of police in Chicago? He had an heart attack. I almost got a boner for a day. I mean, motherfucker come back. Like it's more crooked than an 18th century door. You know what I mean? That guy is. It's felon. Oh, there.
Stupid fat bastard.
And the guy worked with me is like, oh, it's a felon in another state. I'm like, what's the fucking difference? He went outside a bar drunk with a gun. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Now he's the chief of police in Chicago.
Like,
figure, he's friends with somebody.
That's Chicago. Chicago's.
This whole state. I was born in a shitty little town about an hour and a half south of Chicago, and the current mayor is a convicted felon. And he's like the Marion Barry of Illinois, and he got reelected. People love him. I swear to God. And he just got
the last 4 governors are in jail for corruption. So.
Yeah, I mean this whole state is just awful. But that aside, I'm kind of wondering, people really started to question Sandy Hook, and I'm wondering if they're being like, all right, going after kids isn't working anymore. Let's start going after cops now.
Especially since they can't show shit.
Has everyone here ever heard of the Battle of Athens?
Yes.
Okay.
Great
yeah,
thing.
those, and that's why I wondered when I first heard the story, did these cops do something to these people? Because we do talk about the drama of them, and they were street performers, right? And cops love rousting fucking people on the bottom. That's a large part of their job, and they fucking love it. Okay? And when you got cops that really love it, street monsters, we used to call them, in 42nd Street when I was growing up, you had cops that you just stepped out of the way because they were going to thump you no matter what, just to move you out of the way.
Yeah, right? But I'm having a hard time buying a couple of frustrated comic book nerds
as terrorists.
Yes, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I know that's another group of people. I know.
It'd be amazing what highly motivated people will do when they're pissed off about something.
I don't.
Highly controlled.
The ironic thing is that a cop shot his girlfriend. It was the same week as this happened. A Las Vegas cop shot and killed his girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Tony didn't say anything about that. Why didn't Tony say that?
Yeah, funny enough, you would think if they were running inside Walmart, they would probably run, shit hit the fan, everything went wrong, the car didn't start, you know what I mean? I would run inside there, for take some hostage, not for start the shooting, like that, stupid, they're pretty much sitting ducks in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if this is supposed to be this is the start of the revolution, what the hell do you go commit suicide for? Don't you run off to your bunker and rally your troops? You blow your head off in the middle of Walmart. You couldn't get any lamer than that. It just none of it makes sense. The whole thing is stupid. That's why I don't know. I'm in Camp Tinfoil on this. I don't know.
I see the tinfoil hat on your head.
I'm totally declaring shenanigans. Tinfoil.
I noticed that after a minute.
You like
that?
I was
trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, no, that's my tinfoil hat. I made my tinfoil hat to sit down here. I've totally hijacked this whole thing now.
I think that's bigger than yours, Mule.
No, you're a breath of fresh air. Trust me.
Thank you. I try. We got a guy who comes and brings. He does deliveries to our shop, and he drives around this little white bus, and he's got the Gadsden snakes in the back. And he came in, and I said something about it, and he was just like, "Wow, you're the first person who didn't ask me if I have those on there because I like Metallica." And I'm like, "Well, I got my leg, and I've got a big yellow one on my leg," and I show him, and all of a sudden he goes crazy. He's from Wisconsin. He's Scott Walker. This is right after the Scott Walker thing. So he comes every Thursday. And he comes in today, and I'm like, David Brad, high five. He's just doing cartwheels. He's this big fat guy. He's like, "I'm so happy we won the lottery." I'm like, "Well, don't get excited now. Don't get excited. That was kind of a one-shot deal."
Well, like the guy that see the tattoo on your leg, the guts, and the snake and everything.
Yeah. Oh, you like Metallica?
No. They asked me, "So are you one of the Tea Party member?" I'm like, "No." They see the AK tattoo. So do you have an AR-15 a full auto rifle? Like, no. Does it look like an AR-15 to you? I'm like, damn it.
No, it's a ghost gun that shoots 30 magazine clips in a half a second.
Banana clip.
Guns, and then they call it an AK-15 or some shit like that. Really?
12 gauge AK-15.
Yeah, you have an AK-15. I'm like, no, I have an AK-47 and an AR-15.
AK-15.
You go right ahead and tell me all about my AK-15 and school me on that, because he was trying to tell me I was doing something wrong and then called it an AK-15. Whatever.
I had someone ask me. All right, no, they called my SKS an AR.
Oh wow!
I said no, it's better than an AR.
That's not even close.
It's like a breadstick and a loaf of bread.
I know. Now, if they called it an AK, I might have said,
I've seen an AK-15 or an AR-47.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they actually put one together in Vietnam. I saw it in a video from this Australian guy who tours the world shooting guns sometimes, and he hunts hogs in Australia. And, dude, he actually shot the fucking thing. It's crazy. And it was half an AR-15, well, an M16 and half an AK.
Wasn't 22 that one?
No, it was shooting I think it was shooting 5.56.
Oh, okay.
The guy's name's Steve Trent, maybe?
Yeah. I like Johnson.
Yeah, yeah.
Have any of you ever seen the movie Hobo with a Shotgun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I just watched it tonight, and at the end of the movie, you know, Rutger's standing there with the shotgun about to shoot the bad guy, and the cops are all pointing their guns at him, and all of a sudden, all the citizens pull all their weapons on the cops, and Rutger kills the bad guy, and the cops open fire on Rutger, of course, and then all the citizens start attacking the cops, shooting them and everything. I about fell out of my damn seat laughing.
Yeah, there's a movie I won't have to watch anymore. Thank you for running into it.
Yeah, you're supposed
No,
to say.
now I'm going to watch it just to catch that scene. On Netflix?
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I do.
I think,
Yeah, it
I
was
think
in
we got it on
Netflix.
Netflix. It was awesome.
You know, it's another good one that Reb turned me on that's on Netflix is Wall Street, right? What was it called,
Assault
Reb?
on Wall Street.
Assault on Wall Street. There
I
you go.
watched it the other day for the first time.
It was pretty good.
It was really good.
Yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun is on Netflix.
Awesome. I'll watch that later.
Assault on Wall Street made me want to cry a little bit, actually, for the husband and wife.
Fuck that. Assault on Wall Street was a guy who put all of his money into a scam that everybody fucking knows is a scam and is no better than the fucking scratching tickets, and then gets all butthurt that his little scam that he invested in fell out and fell through. I hated that movie. I didn't even watch it all the way because that guy was a dumbass for putting all of his fucking money into the Wall Street.
But not everybody thinks, see, and that's the thing, you know, they super hype, right, the fact that Wall Street is a solid bet, especially if you live in New York area, man.
Well,
I got news for you. Anybody who ever worked for a corporation who got a pension or had a 401k, that's how it is.
Yeah, but that's
So
why you don't ever put all your
He didn't
investments
have
in
a
that
choice. I mean, a lot of the times you don't have a choice in the matter. If you want them to match or you want your pension, you don't have a choice in the matter.
Well, how about putting a few dollars aside on your own and saving some of your own money that you get paid with?
You don't understand, when you live in anywhere within the tri-state area in New York, the cost of living there is insanity.
Well, there's another problem right there. I don't feel sorry for that at all. Sorry.
The problem's created so that you'll get into the system thinking that you can at least keep up with the system.
Yeah.
And you can't do it because the system's rigged.
No. Inflation is going up so fast, the value of the dollar is going down so fast, and the interest rates are frozen at absolutely nothing. So you can dump money into a savings account all freaking day, and by the time you retire, you'll be paying them money as opposed to earning interest anymore. It's not.
It's all part of the plan.
No economist or anything here, but I mean, it used to be once upon a time you could get away with that stuff, and I think I guess like the 70s is when all the mutual funds started coming around, and now all of a sudden putting money in a normal savings account like a normal human being is going to get you absolutely nowhere. It's like they've just taken meticulous, responsible savers and driven them into this casino. Like, hey, get into this, or you're going to be eating cat food when you're old, and that's it.
People need to learn how to diversify.
The whole thing's just fucked. I've got somebody really smart who handles that stuff for me, and he knows I'm a complete freaking loon. He makes fun of me all the time. He's like, you got your fucking tinfoil hat on? I'm like, yeah, listen, let me tell you something. But, I go over this stuff, and he explains to me how this works, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and then, the chair pulls the plug, and the value of the dollar plummets to zero. What happens? And he's just kind of like, and I'm like, thank you. You don't have an answer for that question, do you?
That's why you should diversify. I would never put. Well, first of all, I don't think I'd put any money in the stock except for my wife does have a 401k. Okay, that's great, but I'm not counting on that. So every time we have a little extra money, I buy a tenth of an ounce of gold, I buy an ounce of silver, and you know what? After a few months, that shit starts adding up, just like ammo. You do that, and it's not just precious metals; it's everything. That way, if one thing falls through, you've got something else.
All right, no. You never put all your eggs in one basket, of course, but
I mean, this whole movie that they're talking about, Assault on Wall Street, this guy had all of his eggs in that basket. He didn't research it. Which one of us here would actually put money freely into, investing in the stock market at this point? We wouldn't, because we're educated that it's a rigged game, and why should I invest in a rigged game? Well, this guy didn't do his research, and he trusted too much, and he got burned.
But Russell, I just want to throw in real quick. He actually had split up his money into smaller investments as well, but a lot of his money was in that main portion. But he did have other investments. I did want to throw that in there.
All right, I didn't watch the entire movie, as I said, so yeah, that could be.
The thing though is that if the whole value of
But
the
I mean,
dollar,
we've been talking.
it doesn't matter if you got it in a shoebox.
Didn't have the right reason to do it, right? They didn't have the good reason to shoot these cops. Well, this guy had a good reason to go shooting up Wall Street. I mean, come on.
It's just a movie, right?
Well, that is it is. It's just a movie. There's always a message. There is always a message in movies. That's for true.
Well, the guy that made the movie, Yul Bull, he said that he's surprised that actually hasn't happened yet in real life.
Well, hopefully people understand that, Wall Street's a fucking scam that only the rich get richer with.
There are a bunch of banksters that are shooting themselves multiple times in the head and jumping off roofs.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
Keeping the numbers down.
Tell you what, I'm actually surprised more crap like what happened on Sunday and movies like that Attack on Wall Street don't happen. Or maybe they do and we're just not told about it. But I'm actually surprised that more don't, especially for a country our size. And
now, for a good movie on Netflix, check out Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I saw that the other night.
That's a funny flick.
My wife liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, I'm really actually surprised that we don't have more of that.
Well, if you listen to the liberals, they make it sound like it happens every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a reasonable person knows the difference between what those, what happens in a place where real terrorism happens and what happens here in the United States. I mean, our crime is almost terrorism in some places. But even that's so far down compared to what it was just 20 years ago. That's where they have such a hard time hyping all this blood, guts, and horror. Because once the government releases its own numbers, everybody goes, what the fuck? Crime's down, homicide's down, firearms is down. Even when you start looking at those numbers and you realize that they include suicides in with homicides and blah, 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 right? So it really, I think that's why they haven't been able to make as big of a splash as they want to, because the numbers go against them everywhere. Even with that whole 74 school shootings at Sandy Hook, and like Katie said, what was it, CNN or MSNBC came out and said, nope, you're lying.
I almost fell off my chair because it was some reporter, and he's a newspaper guy, I think. First, I read a thing where he had come out, and he debunked a bunch of it, and then MSNBC or whatever picked it up, and they did the same thing and said, oh yeah, well, this kid was shot in a gang shooting, and here's 10 of these shootings were lone kids committed suicide, and one of these was a guy who walked in and shot his wife or something. They're like, oh yeah, so the 74 actually went down to like 10, that's it. That's how these things get around, and it's all of a sudden now you've got every cop in the country shitting their pants because they're thinking there's this great big tsunami of people out to kill them when for all we know these were
Well,
hippies.
I will say this that I talk about in my videos often. I keep a collection of I mean there's so many I haven't even seen them all, I bet, but I have a lot of bookmarks and I save all the stories of the people out here that every day being assaulted and murdered and sexually assaulted and kidnapped and so forth and so on by the police. And 98% of the time, of course, the so-called law enforcement, they don't get punished, and we get punished. But anyways, when I point that out to people,
What they do, just about the content.
No, he's got everybody else that he won't say it. He wouldn't message me.
Always Hey, Sting, your mic's hot.
Sorry. I wasn't talking, it was the wife, so blame her. And she's just talking about what DJ was saying in the chat room. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't forget about them out there.
Yeah, I was going to shout them out after Patriot was finished saying what he was saying.
I was really just trying to form my thought here correctly, but people don't get it, man. People don't realize. Well, a lot of people do now, but not the majority. That there's a domestic army here, and you know, I posted a video about the Gatsby affair the other day, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that before, but
now you're talking about the one in the pre-revolution, right?
yeah, it's 1772.
Yep. Yeah, I actually have that. Reread it again today. Didn't realize you posted a video on it. Damn, I'm so back in videos.
Yeah, I just, when I point out the similarities between the British Redcoats, the Army, and what they did and what we have today going on, it's no difference. It's just more technology and more people in a newer decade, newer century, but it's tyranny nonetheless, and it's unlawful and it's illegal, and I don't really care for it, but you know, there's still I was talking to a friend yesterday about that, and he seems to believe that a lot of these cops are going to go run to their families because they're not going to want to, if they think there's going to be any kind of, if they believe that they're going to have to counter or deal with more than 2 or 3 people at one time, they're going to be too scared to want to do anything about it. I don't know. But I was just responding to a guy tonight on Facebook. He's a SWAT member of the state police in New York, and he was boasting about why they needed a MRAP and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, well, you know, motherfucker, you know, we need an MRAPs in Iraq because we were getting blown the fuck up and attacked all the fucking time. People over here, you lucky if you got to deal with someone talking back to you. So I wouldn't be boasting about that shit, but people, I guess the frame of mind with patriots and people in general is we're gonna wait till motherfuckers kick in the damn door, and if you wait to that fucking point, it's too damn late. So, you know,
that's true. We agree on that.
You know, I believe in taking an offensive and defensive position before, because you know, we're sitting around fucking talking and shit, which is fine. I don't mean us specifically right now, but us in general. And all while we're talking and talking about we're gonna do this and do that, these motherfuckers are doing whatever the hell they want to do, regardless of what the Constitution says and what we're trying to prevent peacefully, and they're doing everything opposite of what they're allowed to do. You know, the people are divided. People are divided, so, and the patriots are divided, so, I mean, you know, you can't even get a damn same frame of mind with people to do anything because, oh, you know, we can't do that. We're America. Well, last time I checked, you know, this country's found on revolution. After a while, they couldn't get things worked out defensively. They did what was necessary. I mean, shit. It's not like I enjoy talking about it. I don't. It doesn't make me happy. I'm not a fucking Rambo or anything. I'm just pointing out the obvious things that, you know, we want to avoid, that we want to just ignore. But we can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. Not just watching the video.
Obvious things I can't ignore. Somebody in the chat room was asking if you're a cop, Patriot Angel. Oh, sorry, Patriot Eagle.
If I'm a cop?
Yep.
Why did they ask that?
I don't know. I'm just relaying the question.
Oh, I was just asking.
Because they're a bunch of nosy motherfuckers who track people down through IP addresses and shit. So some of these guys are like, we tracked him down and we found out he works for fucking law enforcement.
No, no, I'm not.
Well, I'm blunt about it, bro. They ask me, I ask you.
That's not the first time I've had people ask me that before. Yeah, so.
All right. Good enough. So that cleared the air, I hope.
And I've never claimed to be either, by the way. I would
I've
not.
never heard you say you were one. And
I wouldn't stain my oath as a soldier to that I swore once upon a time with that crap. So, no, thank you.
well, fair enough. And thank you for answering the question directly. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing: we get a bad rap for being cop bashers, and yeah, we do. But you know, it wouldn't make any difference if you were. So, and that's for any cops who are out there in the chat and thought, well, I would go in there, but they're just going to eat me alive, yada yada. You know, no. This is a soapbox for everyone, including law enforcement.
And we've had law enforcement in. So. Yeah. But they were very, you know, they were straight up about it and said they were cops or ex-cops or whatever, you know. So it's not like everybody's welcome, because there are cops who are on our side. You know, I really do believe there are plenty of sheriffs out there that don't agree with what's going on at all. So
I'm glad you mentioned that. I believe that too. I believe there's a few of them out there, but they're outnumbered, of course. I usually have about once a month, I have an argument with a cop, and about, you know, Constitution and everything, and normally I'll get called an anarchist or you know, something along those lines, which I'm
not here not. Dragon, bro. You'll be called a cop.
Hey, it's fine. I'm not actually. I'm not an anarchist. I just I believe in government. I just believe in what a functional government that's acting within constitutional limits. Anyways, I usually, you know, in every argument I have with them, I always ask the simple question of, how many unconstitutional laws do you enforce? Have you enforced? You know, so they don't ever answer the question. None of them, not one. They always ignore it, and they stop talking to me after that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they answer the question, proves my point. So, really don't.
I've gotten the answer that they enforce the laws they're told to enforce.
Exactly. You're right. Exactly. I do what the hell I'm told because that's what I'm paid to do. So, what you're being paid to do is the wrong thing. Even if some citizens support you, you're still wrong. And you do have a choice. Because when you swear an oath, you're bound by that oath, that law, that Constitution. You can't.
Yeah, good point.
Say again?
I think I say good point.
Okay.
Yeah, to whoever's doing dishes, your mic's hot.
Sorry. Well, see?
What?
You gotta yell.
Hey, I can't sit here and yap all night. I gotta do some shit. Sorry.
Really?
Oh, hey, wait a minute now. We can pause for the cause for a moment to hear a woman doing dishes.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. I'll pause for the cause there.
No, my bad. I should.
Sorry. I'm not wearing the tinfoil hat while I'm doing it either, so.
Dang.
I'm a civilian now. I'm a civilian.
Mule, guess what?
What, buddy?
I won a 1911.
You won a 1911?
Armed civilian. He just did a drawing.
Awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations, buddy.
I gotta find an FFL over here, I guess. My gun range, I'm assuming. So I don't want to go over the thread. Sorry about that, but
that's okay. I'm about to do a shout out to the room.
All right.
Because it's been a while since I've done that. First, I gotta update and then unspam.
So I gotta start buying 45 now too.
Yeah. Shout out to the room. And Patriot Eagle, don't worry about it, dude. My friends ask my other friends if I'm a cop. Sometimes. Don't take it as an insult, actually.
I don't. I didn't know anybody was asking. So.
It's okay. I'm about to do a shout out to the room. Keep that. All right. Let's see here. Newest first. Mindy Patriot Angel, DJ Moore. Third option, Whiskey Leach, William Garnes. Riddle Girl, Donna Marie. Oh, Donna Marie's been getting fucked with by this troll that has got no.
Yeah, I saw her posting about that.
Yeah. Donna, I went over and checked that out. I saw you had it taken care of. DJ cleaned that one up pretty hard. Ronnie Swanee, Joel's Quantum Heart Logic, Chad Lilly, Gator'd 157, Mr. X-Men Rules. Third op again, Glon's Vilkis, up more loaded up top. Bass is out there, sorry. Southern Style, Haboob's out there. Hey Haboob!
Yeah.
Ooh, what's up, Haboob? Joel
Get
Sweat.
back to me whether you want me to mail it or meet you. One of the two.
Well, hold on, tell him again, Sting.
That Haboob needs to get back to me whether he wants me to mail it to him or just give it to him.
Yeah, your winnings from Kansas. So that's what he's talking about. Flint Napper.
Well, then I'll get on that.
Dooley was out there. Some of these things are fucking slow as hell to feed. Did I say American Died? Well, American Died is out there too. So, and I'll check back in a little while, but the feed's real slow. I'm not seeing 207 comments. So. And that's what it's telling me we have. Anyhow, so I hope that answered anybody's question. We're all cops here, or we're not. What can I tell you? You know?
Yeah.
Well, we're all the militia, that's for sure.
Yeah, but every citizen, 18 and over is militia.
Yep.
You're just gonna act like it.
Yeah, don't you wish?
Now, first of all, never, ever, ever join a group and call it a militia. That's problem number one right there.
No, that's the problems. We're not calling them a militia. I disagree completely with that.
You call yourself a militia, you're automatically in a bad standing with a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah, but that's the problem. We've allowed the term to be used against us. It's semantics. I mean, the militia is the people, and
well, if we're all the militia, then what's the point? Just have HDP's gun club. Why not do that? Then you're not
and I
regulated
said
by
that
all
in my
the
militia
rules.
video 3 months ago. That it doesn't matter what you call it, it's still a militia. But I think you should embrace the term too.
Well, we'll disagree on that one.
Well, I can see the wanting to embrace it because, it's so much of our heritage keeps getting stolen from us through political correct fucking language.
Right.
And that's one of them too. The militia at one time stood for a community getting together to protect itself. Now it's supposed to stand for some fucking survivalist nut jobs that people are perceived, right, through shows like, those prepper shows on TV where they find the one they can make the most of a fool out of. And if they're not a fool, right, because I've talked to Dave Sardi. He's a little crazy, but he ain't a fool. And they still made him look like one.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the media,
Well, there's an article that came up not too long ago on USA Today that, it addresses this very issue. The decline of the militia is due to the paramilitary, or whatever the hell you want to call it, police state going on. The rise of all these police departments, and people rely on that shit like it's fucking, gospel, and, fuck the militia, people, you tell them we're all the militia, and they're like, you're a nut job. So
that's what we hire cops to do.
Yeah, they're the fucking militia, right?
Right, and that's the problem.
No, it's the National Guard. The National Guard of the militia. Don't you know that?
No.
They're not.
That's another misnomer that has been able to perpetrate a fraud on the American people right there. I mean,
yeah, I know.
How many states actually have? Oh yeah, but just in talking to people, if you ever got around to that conversation, ask them how many infantrymen do we have in our National Guard here in our state. Unless you're in one of the bigger ones, and most of them don't have infantry units. They have motor transport, air wing, whatever, And then you go on down the line. How many artillery batteries? We don't have a military in our state. We have support to support the army the standing army, which is not what it's intended to be.
Right, not an army in and of itself, like it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be able to defend the state, not deploy to some foreign land.
Yeah, because
There are a few states that have that, though. There still are a few that have their own state militia that are separate from the National Guard.
really.
Like the Missouri militia.
And I
But
think
they're
Ohio,
not.
I think Ohio has one too.
Well, there's lots of state militias, but they're still not. I don't think they're supported by the legislature. I don't think.
No,
They're
not most of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's one that's
South
supported by the
Carolina.
legislature. Maybe Texas might be.
South
But-
Carolina has a state guard that their allegiance is to the governor, and which is fucked up.
But
So-
that's actually the way it's supposed to be, Patriot. I mean, your allegiance is supposed to be to your state first and then the federal, right? That's the way the founders did it. They considered, like Washington considered himself first a citizen of Virginia, right?
Yep.
Once he gave up his Englishmanship, right? Once he broke with it, he considered himself a citizen of Virginia.
Well, even before the break, they still considered themselves Virginians and Pennsylvanians or whatever,
Right.
because it was considered like Ireland or Scotland.
Yeah.
The point I was getting at is that if we swear an oath, it has to be to the Constitution, and that has to come before any governor. So if the governor orders
You
them,
swear your oath to your state constitution, right? They do it in the same venue, the same vein, basically, but you swear your allegiance to your state constitution with your governor representing the head of it, just like when you swear it to the Constitution of the United States, you accept the commander-in-chief as the head of it, who's the president, right? Same type of deal.
right? It doesn't matter if it's a state or national. You have to both swear an oath to the Constitution. But Bill of Rights, would be included in that, I would say. But you just have to be careful with, these militias. If the governor, for example, orders his fucking militia to attack something in the damn state, and the people in the militia just say, "Hold up." That's not what I swore an oath to do, So people just have to be careful in these militias that actually are legislated by the state.
I don't.
That's what the soldier's supposed to do. If they tell you to go massacre a village, you're supposed to say, no, that's an unlawful order, and I'm not following it.
Right, unlawful orders.
Supposed to say that. That's true.
Yeah. But why? I don't think there's anything wrong there to call that some militia. That can be. You know what I mean?
The connotations they're trying to, with the same brush that they're trying to paint the freedom movement, patriot movement, whatever you want to call it now. They've already painted the militia with that back in the 90s, right? With the Oklahoma City bombing, and then with Waco and with Ruby Ridge during the Clinton era, they painted the militia in that bad light, right? And in the 80s, they painted it with the survivalists. They used that same brush to paint them as crazy nut jobs, right, that were out to take over the government and restart slavery or some shit.
Yeah.
So it's the same. They keep pulling that same fucking palette out and whipping that paintbrush out and painting the people. Anybody that has a right view, conservative view, they paint them as a right wing nut job, and they take that same brush out every couple of years and just paint the new people. The Tea Party, boom, you get the splash of right wing bigoted Nazi nut jobs, right?
Well, they've accomplished that.
Yeah. Well, not really, because there are people waking up, obviously. Look at what happened in Virginia, right? That's supposedly this solid blue state these days, right? And they ended up in the primary kicking out Cantor and putting in somebody who's more of a libertarian.
Yeah.
What I mean is there's a lot of people in this country that really, they just hate the Tea Party. They don't even really know why, I don't think. They just do because, they're a liberal, and that's what sounds good.
They're the enemy. They're the I mean, how can I put it? They're the
sheep.
Mets.
They're
the
Tories.
Mets and Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're
Tories.
Tories to us being Whigs or whatever however way it went. Right?
That is true.
I mean, I look at it in sports terms, right? I look at it like they're the Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys, you know, in the 70s, right? So everybody's got to pick a side, so they just do. They don't even know what the fucking other side, what the side they're standing on stands for most of the time, because they're sheep, and they just figured, well, I got to pick one or the other. I'm going to be a Republican, or I'm going to be a Democrat, or I'm going to be for the government, or I'm going to be against it. You know, most people don't really think anymore.
You know, it's interesting. You ever hear anybody say we need to overthrow the government? Okay, all right. I know you've all heard that shit before.
I've said
it. Here's the thing. We are the government, so we can't really overthrow the government.
Well, no, we're not. That's the problem, bro. You know, one time the people were the government. One time there was representation up there for us. It's no longer that. They don't represent anybody. None of us here on this panel or in any panel or anywhere in this damn country in our socioeconomic stages are being represented by anybody.
No, we're not. But in principle, we still are the government that hasn't been eviscerated just because the bad guys have devalued liberty so badly. That's why we have to remember that in our own minds and not forget that we're the masters, not these assholes. And not even the assholes. And I shouldn't call them assholes. The citizens that blindly keep voting like they're going to make a difference when they don't even know what the hell their rights are, or you know, there's no excuse for nobody in this country to not know the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration, all that shit. There's no reason not to. The internet, in a day, you can read it all and understand it and change your position, potentially, if you wanted to.
Well, hey, Patriot, nobody sang it on American Idol, so they ain't going to know, you know.
Well, fuck no. But,
maybe if Beyonce sang the Bill of Rights, you know, somebody might learn it these days.
Yeah, well, they would just desecrate the damn Bill of Rights by saying something. They'd just probably insert some bullshit into it.
Right, but, well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I got you. But, you know, people choose to be the way they are. And for all intents and purposes, that's how it is. You know, a lot of people mean well. A lot of people mean well when they go vote. They really do, and I respect that. But a sheep is still a sheep, no matter what color it is. So
yeah,
it's not like this shit just happened to us. I mean, you know, we all know that it's taken over 100 years for this shit to happen, and now I'm very vocal about this stuff. I make no bones about it. We're actually in a worse place than the colonists were in 1775. So that is because we are not fighting back, quite honestly, and that's, you know, and people say, well, you know, you can't fight back with force because, you know, people that would mean, you know, violence and everything. Well, you know, that's true. That's what happens when people don't do what they're supposed to do and let the bad guys take over and let sheep vote. Yeah, that's what happens. And you know, we avoided the admonishments either because we didn't know, or because we weren't taught, or because we didn't learn till we were 30 years old. That we have all these warnings and shit from the founders and the other patriots and presidents telling, you know, I just learned the other night. I didn't even know this because I'm not a big fan of Lincoln, but I learned the other night that in his first inaugural address, you know, he repeated something that Jefferson talked about in the Declaration about our right and duty to abolish or alter tyrannical government. You know, Lincoln said the same damn thing a little bit differently, but he said the same fucking thing. You know, so until we decide that that's what we need to do, we're not going to make any real progress to stop this shit going on. And no, I do not approve of those two guys in Las Vegas, the guy and his wife. Just from a tactical point of view, I don't think it's smart. But you know, if patriots do take action like that at some point, more and more, then you know, there's nothing we can do to stop them. But It's only all this shit happening. People are getting fed up. That's all I can say. People are getting fed up.
That's why I'm kind of surprised there's not more of the kind of shit that happened in Vegas.
I know. And I know. People are getting fed the fuck up. And they're going to start doing more shit. And the cops, the cops admit now more than ever that we want all this equipment and shit because of the veterans, because
we're at war with the American people, like that fucking cop said in, what was it, in Ohio or some shit?
I don't know, there's so many places now.
Just got themselves an MRAP, and he says, well, we're at war with the American people here.
Indiana it was, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is all this is history repeating itself. 1775 again. A fucking standing army of, the redcoats. If you read the history of how they were, they basically did the same shit law enforcement does today. They were law enforcement then. They enforced this shit, on the seas and on the fucking ground. And if you didn't pay your taxes or if you didn't do this or do that, they were going to fucking fine your ass, beat your ass, imprison your ass, whatever the hell they had to do to make sure the government got its due.
Yeah.
It's different today. So some people say, well, this is the best we can get. This is what do you want, I'm not going to risk my family and all this shit for fighting for this shit. Well, if you believe this is the best we can get, then you know what? You've already lost, man. You're not even useful to me. Just give me your weapons and shit and ammo, and I'll make use of it eventually. I'll take that burden off of you. Oh, I don't want to give my shit up. I want to keep. Second Amendment ain't about hunting or fucking target shooting, although you can do that. But I mean, shit.
Yeah.
If 3 years ago, all you guys out here, I don't know how many of you guys have been aware of all this shit for so long now. Up until 3 years ago, I was largely asleep to the police state and all that shit, and I really was one of those guys that would be saying to me right now, you sound like a fucking dumbass. And, up until 3 years ago. Do what?
I was just shouting out to Eric C.
We all wake up at different times, dude. I mean,
yeah, some
of this shit, I've been saying it since I was a kid. The war on drugs bullshit.
It's just a shame that it takes, So, and the funny thing is, I was always liberty-minded before that, but you're blinded by this bipartisanship crap, and you're gonna vote Republican because you think it's gonna they're more for limited government. No, they're not. They're no fucking different than the fucking Democrats. I mean, shit, man. I didn't figure that out until fucking 3 years ago. So, I felt real guilty for voting for fucking McCain in 2008. Damn, I was like, fuck. Why the hell I vote for him? Shit. And
uh-oh. Wait, no. Rev must not have heard that.
What? I heard it. Hey, man, you vote. People say all the time, oh, don't waste your vote. Don't waste your vote. Vote your conscience. That's all you can do, because you have to look in the mirror.
Well,
right? We have people on the Dragon who voted for Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not here tonight, though, unfortunately. I voted for McCain. I voted for McCain a long time ago, too, when I first started voting, because at the time, I lived in Arizona, and he was a big staple here, and it was way before I woke up. And, my vote might not mean shit, but I'm still going to do it. Why? I don't know, but I'm still going to do it.
Well, no, and see, this is where I disagree. I don't think the votes matter because I don't think they really count the shit, but it still means that the person is engaged, right? That's what matters to me, right? When I hear people voted, that tells me that you were engaged. You actually paid attention for a minute, woke up for a minute at least to try and do what your conscience told you was right.
Either that or you checked all the D boxes or you checked all the R boxes. Those are the ones I don't know.
It actually takes a little effort just to go to the fucking voting booth, don't it? They don't put it in like the most convenient places unless you got kids, right? Because they're usually in a school.
How many people carried to the voting? What?
Ready?
You know what I'm saying, though? But at least when I hear somebody voted, it meant that they cared enough for at least a minute. to try and do something.
Oh, I'm about to commit the cardinal sin here. I fucking voted for Bush twice.
Really?
I feel bad.
Same here. What was the other option? You're gonna, for me, I still think it's a throwaway vote if you vote for a third party, so I don't. You guys can disagree with that all you want.
Then according to you, I throw my vote away because I want, the more.
I would consider it a protest vote if nothing else.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is eventually, I mean, if I believed in the system, then if we can get enough people to vote third party, then they'd have to put the third party on the ticket and give everybody another choice.
Yeah, that'd be great and all, but look at
fucking
Bush 1 and Ron Perot. Was it? Yeah,
Ross
Perot. Yeah, look at that shit. You
well,
want
that's
to know
because they bagged his ass.
Clinton? That's why we got Clinton, was because of Perot.
No, you would have had Perot if it wasn't for the Bushes. Okay, so let's get that straight. You would have.
Well, he was going for a second term. What is he supposed to do? Not run for a second term?
No, but the Bushes totally, they're a little underhanded shit. I'm sure that's why Perot had a much better chance. He had right towards the end there, pulled out of the race, and then jumped back in.
Yeah, that was another issue I had with his ass.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Why would a billionaire do that? Somebody has to have something pretty heavy over your fucking head for you to do that when you had as much money as Perot did.
Well, apparently he took out that threat.
I don't know how many of you guys have talked about this or heard anything about it, but in the last year, I've heard a lot of people. There's a few people talking about how the next election is going to be the last election for this country for a while.
I'd be surprised if we get to it. That's what my bet's before 2016, and that's the one I'm saying.
The problem isn't the president. The problem is the government is not representative of the people. There are supposed to be checks and balances, but when 78% of the people said, "Hey, don't bail out the banks," and they did anyway, that pretty much told you they don't work for us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course not. Hell no, they don't.
And we're all talking this shit, and that's not saying that there isn't going to be another world war with the crap that's going on with Russia and China. And they're all rattling some serious sabers right now over in Europe, right, where NATO and the Russian forces are holding war games side by side with comparative force. So we might not even get to a revolution before shit goes sideways for everybody.
And I'm not going to worry too much about what the hell's going on over there. We got a lot of shit to worry about here.
No doubt, but sometimes here and there are both part of the same big picture.
Yeah. Well, that
that's
can be
where I
true.
start getting into the Illuminati and my other tinfoil hat with the Swiss and the Rothschilds, so let's not even, the fact that it's a bigger scoped picture sometimes, but...
No, there is a bigger picture, but
yeah, I 99.9% of the time I agree with you, Pate. We gotta stay here and focus in on America. Try and clean up America first.
Look all these third world countries. This is supposed to be a separatist state. We're supposed to be a separatist country where we don't fuck with anybody else. Up until what, World War I? We never fucked with anybody. That's the whole "don't tread on me."
Oh, yeah, we did. We were out kicking indoors throughout the Far East and Caribbean Central America all through those times.
South America, oh hell yeah! And I mean,
where do you think Smelly Butler got his whole manifesto from Central America?
Right, and the first war that we ever went to any other country with was Mexico. So before the Civil War, not long after we became a country. So
I think it was 1834 to be exact.
Yeah.
Or 1843, which was it?
I think it was 34, wasn't it? Trying to remember because, let's see. No, maybe it was 43. Considering how old.
Yeah, it was 43.
He was, yeah, and yeah, who served in it and who started out low and ended up high in the Civil War. Grant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It had to be 43.
But remember, I'm stoned and on painkillers trying to stretch out this arm, so dates aren't. Because I can't let, how if you just leave something immobilized, the muscles all stiffen up, and it becomes harder later to get all worked out and stretched out.
How you
That's why
doing,
I have my camera off all night, because you guys don't need to see me cry like a baby sometimes. Ooh, this motherfucker hurts. Oh, fuck. Well, so, just to get back on the general topic, I mean, does anybody even think that there could... I mean, this is where the whole little separatist terrorism movement thing that happened in Vegas, does anybody see that not happening again? I mean...
Oh, it's going to happen again, I'm sure.
Well, and what do you think of revolutions? Some revolutions start that way. I mean, that's how...
Exactly.
Here, you know?
I mean, like I said before, the fucking... before actual combat operations were committed to by the Patriots in the Revolutionary War days, before that, there was a lot of guerrilla tactics and stuff, use ambushing and attacking convoys and things of that nature.
Tax collectors, and that's what that was. That was the
British troops.
Yep.
It's uncomfortable.
Using the term revolution with what took place in Las Vegas is just feeding into the propaganda. If you want to say the revolution started at the Bundy Ranch, I'm on board with that. But saying that those two idiots had anything to do with...
Because it started even before Bundy, you know, I mean, but Bundy can be the, if you want to call that the start, that works for me too, because that was much more symbolic and it actually worked. You know, what those clowns did in Vegas was straight up terrorism. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, you know,
it's no different than what...
Before the Sons of Liberty committed terrorism, right? Before the actual war started off for our independence, the people that represented freedom were committing acts of terrorism.
Exactly. And patriots don't want to admit that shit. You know? They don't want to say, oh, you know, we forget history so damn quick. I mean, they did that shit back then,
and we'll do it now.
Well, let's say everything else plays out all the same except for the concealed carry permit holder, right, getting shot. Right? Say they just killed the two cops and then off themselves. Right? Do you think the rest of the world would think any different of what they've done? No. They're going to turn against everybody who goes against the system, no matter how you do it. Right? Just like whether it be in protest, which we've seen time and time again, right? Even fucking the media. I mean, the media went against Occupy Wall Street. They go against any sort of protest to the status quo.
Let me put this into perspective for any listeners that are not talking. But the way I see it is, every time someone gets popped, murdered by... actually, just recently, a veteran got murdered by 5 cops in California. He didn't have a front plate on, and the guy got murdered for no reason. He did nothing wrong. Anyways, for every person that has been murdered by the cops just in the last 3 years alone, I say, you know what? I'm fucking glad them 2 are dead, because that's all these people fucking murdered, and guess what? Nobody gets punished. Nobody goes to fucking prison. Nobody gets hung. None of that shit. They can do what the fuck they want to do because they got a fucking badge and an ego. And, you know, I understand that you got to have some law and order, of course. But this isn't law and order. That's not law and order. We don't have law and order. We got fucking chaos going on some level right now. So I say fucking good, because this is a fucking lesson for these guys out here.
Somebody needs to fucking boondog saints these cops that keep getting away with shit.
Exactly, but nobody wants to do that because the general statement is they got families and shit. Well, we got families too.
Yep.
I don't want my fucking wife to get fucking murdered by one of these guys one of these fucking days. I mean, shit, man. It could happen. This happened every fucking day almost now. People getting popped and assaulted and shit. And for what?
You can't even be homeless in New Mexico without getting shot.
Well, I know. It's like, what do they want us to do? Do they just want us to give up all our fucking shit and say, look, you know, we'll just get on our knees and be slaves for you and just beg for permission to do shit. I mean, that's pretty much, it seems like what they want us to do. But, you know, I always say that, you know, the cops are pawns on a chessboard. And they're just pawns, you know. They're guilty, but they're pawns nonetheless. And, you know.
Well, we had this discussion about the judge who let that child molester off with 4 months, and how, you know, the child molester definitely needs to have justice, but so does that judge, because somehow that motherfucker was paid off.
I wasn't here on that one, but I would agree probably on that.
You don't give somebody who did what he did 4 months. There ain't no fucking way. And the only reason he gave him 4 months is because of the fact that he was, you know, a millionaire or whatever.
Oh, he was a millionaire?
Yeah, the guy who got away with it. He was molesting.
The B.
Oh, sorry, billionaire.
With the B.
So he was raping his stepdaughter for I don't even know how long. I didn't really want to research that story too much because I already know way too much more than I wanted to.
Right.
But, yeah, he did that for years.
Motherfucker got 4 fucking months.
And he won't even serve that.
No, if it works anything like Illinois jail system does, he'll serve 2.
I just saw last night, someone shared a link with me, out in Maryland or somewhere out in the East Coast, a state trooper who was off duty allegedly cleaning his weapon, and all of a sudden it blew through his wife and his baby inside of her, and they're both dead, of course, but he's not going to be punished. You know, first off, I call bullshit on the whole fucking thing just because anybody that's experienced with firearms, whether you're a veteran or a cop or whatever, you don't clean your fucking weapon loaded. Seriously. Because the weapon was loaded, apparently. You don't clean you can't even clean the weapon all the way correctly with a loaded weapon like that. So, this guy murders his fucking wife and the unborn, 22 weeks old, and he's not going to get punished. But if it were you or me, I told my wife last night in bed, I said, honey, I was cleaning my fucking shotgun, and the damn thing went off. I was stupid enough to actually leave it loaded and fucking had to pull you got to pull the trigger for it to go off. I'd go to fucking prison for at least manslaughter or something.
Yeah.
Fuck.
If you shoot the wrong person, you know, you're gonna go in jail. Like, let's say, you know, you're in a Walmart and some guys from Vegas come in with guns drawn, and you accidentally shoot the store clerk, even though you were aiming at the bad guy. You don't think you're gonna get busted for that? You're gonna get involuntary manslaughter at the least on that. Yeah, we got cops breaking in the wrong fucking house, murdering families. Whoops, sorry, our bad, we messed up. Throwing grenades into baby cribs for $40 worth of dope. And these people, they don't even get suspension. You
I
know,
got a better one for you, Stan. I got one for you. Here you go. Right, those cops that shot at that guy in Times Square and hit the 2 women, right? They charged the guy with the crime of those women getting wounded.
Yeah, and they do that all the time. No, they do that all the time. If you're in a car chase and you're fleeing from the police and you hit somebody a cop hits somebody in a van, it's your fault, because if you weren't doing something wrong in the first place, then that accident wouldn't have happened. And so therefore anything bad goes down while the cops are going after you is your fault, even if it's their stupidity. I hate that shit.
Yeah, that's called police policy. Every department has police policy, various nature.
Well, they always get away with it. I mean,
that's the policy. We got to protect our own, you know. We can't let nobody fucking jam us up. Unless, of course, sometimes you do get a cop every now and then that gets fucked up from something, and they have to do that so that the masses don't get too pissed off. So you got to throw a bone every now and then. You know, we're going to punish this guy and fire his ass and lock him up.
Well, that's what the whole fucking Rodney King riots was about. You know, back then, cops getting away with doing whatever the fuck they want, right? Or at least that's what maybe the spark was off of that. I don't know. Everybody's disagreeing with me tonight, but
no, you got that one right.
Yeah, well, thanks, Mule. I get some of them right once in a while.
Yeah, you sound, everybody sounds pretty good to me from here. So.
Well, yeah, what really sparked it off was the fact that they went to an all-white jury and they got those cops acquitted, and that's what sparked the riots off. The riots didn't go off when they beat Rodney King. The riots didn't go off when they arrested the cops. They went off when they let the cops go.
Yep. Yeah, and just a tidbit here as a side note. The night that happened, you remember the scene from Terminator 2 at the bar scene where Arnold goes in naked?
Yeah.
Remember the scene from Terminator 2
Yep.
where Schwarzenegger's going into the bar to find an outfit? Well, apparently, when that scene was filmed at that particular night, it was filmed across the street from the Rodney beating at the same time it was going on.
Really?
Fucking crazy. Yeah. And, as a side note also, I used to be a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan and Stallone fan up until about last week because it turns out they're anti-gun. So I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You make your money off guns and, you're like, Stallone said in 98 the Second Amendment needs to be gotten rid of.
Well, these people have their protection. They don't have to worry about that shit, so they're not worried about it if you don't have guns. In fact, if anything, it makes them feel more safe so that you can't come at them with firearms, and they have plenty of people that will have it. If these politicians who are signing in this gun control actually had to follow any of the fuck that. If any politician had to follow any rules they enacted into law, we'd have a lot less laws.
Yeah.
If they just obeyed the damn Constitution, there wouldn't be no fucking problems. And fuck, I mean, is that too much to ask for? Apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, who here would blame any elected official or any representative of us if they make a mistake from time to time? They fuck up, a cop fucks up, deputy, sheriff, whatever, and you fuck up from time to time every once in a while. I can understand that. All right, people make mistakes. They will forgive you. Just don't do it again. But, we don't even get that. We get, I'm going to oppress your ass and dress it up as freedom, and you do what we tell you to do, and that's all there is to it. And don't question us, and, you'll be good.
Don't you love it when they're beating you down, saying, "Stop resisting, I'm protecting you"?
Yeah.
Close protection, I guess.
They're protecting your rights by beating your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that veteran that got killed recently, murdered, they sicked the fucking dog on him first. And they tasered him. Then it was a state trooper that pulled him over for not having a front plate, which of course is bullshit. And, he's dead now. He had 2 kids. It was on Mother's Day, actually. And, police policy, none of those guys are going to go to prison, not going to suffer any consequences. So there's an article, Truth About Guns, posted it on their blog section or something like that recently, this week, that talks about the what they're calling the militarization of the police, which has been established already. And the guy who wrote the article, quite frankly, just pointed it out that it's tactically or strategically smart for the government, the cops, to target the veterans like they are, because they are the people that can take them out. They are the people that have the know-how that can actually mobilize and train people and shit to take them down. So they don't want us fucking being around and armed and shit, because they know that we can fuck them up, and we're just choosing not to right now. So
we've been saying that actually for a while, and if you're ex-armed services or whatever, you should be out training up your little group, right? Because it is you guys that are gonna, you people who are skilled in the martial art of war, right, should be training up 5, 10, 15 more people to be able to put them forth, because most people these days aren't trained, right? There's no mandatory service in this country like there is in a lot of others, So your general populace has no idea. on how to handle themselves with a firearm in the field or whatever. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that's what you guys are supposed to be doing. You know, you vets are supposed to be training up schmucks like me who decided to be a construction worker instead of a vet, instead of going in the military.
That's why we're here, Neil.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
lot. A lot of veterans are doing that actually, but they don't talk about it openly.
And
But,
I know, and that's why we keep pushing it to have the ones that haven't started yet go to it, because if you don't pass that knowledge on, if they come for you, how's anybody going to get you out?
Yeah.
A good way, you know, at least information wise, a lot of veterans put a lot of information on the net.
Some stick their neck out there way far, like fucking, you know, Hibernia's son. He shot his neck way out there, you know? And then there's others that just roll over and belly up, like Maine Prepper.
Yeah.
Maine Prepper?
Yeah.
No, the name that will not be said.
No, you look at, if I've been watching Hibernia for a while, and you know what? Dude has put his neck out there on the line and has had to face at least a little bit of consequences from it, being his YouTube channel and what he talks about. And he still talks the same way he did from the beginning, right? And then
people that are real. You gotta give credit to those people that stay the same, no matter if it's popular or unpopular, whether you agree with them or not, man. At least they're fucking consistent. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is I've got 50 videos on my channel almost, or somewhere around there now, and I had a woman subscribe to me a couple weeks ago, real nice lady. She doesn't always agree with me, but usually she does. But she's always commenting on my videos and stuff, and she told me the other day, she said, she was just kind of saying, I really appreciate your videos. You and this other guy, a former colonel, he's real big on YouTube.
Colonel Roy Potter?
Yeah. You guys are not like everyone else, you know. You stick to the shit, you know. You don't just forget about stuff. And I didn't, you know, of course, her telling me that made me realize that was true, and I, you know, felt good about it. But I said, you know, I'm just trying to get people fired up. That's all. That's all I'm doing. It's not something I enjoy talking about. I don't enjoy talking about this shit, because a lot of times the stuff I talk about, if you listen to my videos, I mean, I'm scared. I mean, I'm a little scared sometimes when I start talking about some of that shit, because I'm like, you know, all the fuck I need now is for some no-knock raid at 2 in the fucking morning, and, you know, I got my wife to worry about and shit too, so I'm...
Well, hey, buddy, welcome to the Dragon.
But with that, all that aside, there's a few good people on YouTube that are real, and, you know, Chuck is one of them too, and, you know, if you stick to who you are and
I'll be right back.
You what?
I'll be right back.
If you stick to who you are and stick to the truth about shit, then at least you have that integrity anyways, whether people like you or not.
Well, it goes back to, why did you join YouTube in the first place? Some people joined it to be entertaining, some people joined it to be informative. It just depends on...
I did it for reality TV shows.
And some people transform through that phase of entertainment to informative.
Yeah, it's a process.
I originally was doing it a few years ago because of I had a Camaro, and I had an older Camaro, and I had a lot of people that liked it and everything. So I would put up videos about because I used to have my own business, so I used to work on cars and shit, and worked on my own car, and I made a lot of tutorial videos on how to work on an you know, older Camaro and things like that. So that's how it started out for me, anyways.
And what year Camaro?
It was an '88.
Okay, I got a '78 in a garage that needs some help, but one of these days, if I can afford it, I'll get her back going again.
Yeah, I did like the second generations for a while, and then after a while of having the third, I started liking the second generation body style more. I like them all, so, you know, they're all great in their own way. I tell you what, the worst thing I ever did was sell that damn thing.
Yeah. $90.78. The other one, and the other one is 88. The 78 looks like an interesting project, by the way. I think so. They're all nice cars. I mean, they're all nice. I don't like the new muscle cars, the nowadays one. Then, not a big fan. Gotta pick out more like 70s, but late 70s. I can see. I'm not a Camino guy, so if I ever find one, would be nice. But
Man, what years did they make El Caminos?
I think they start late 50s, and then they went to late. They were doing it in the 80s too, depend, but then, after, the oil crisis and everything, they went a little bit on the dump anyway. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It used to be nicer. I mean, and I like, of course, everyone likes the 70s one, but, even if I find a late 70 one, I won't throw in the garbage if it's in good shape. For sure you can afford the older one, so if you can find a decent one, late 70s for between 5 and 10, depend which shape is the body and everything. You know what I mean? But,
I like the one from My Name Is Earl, the red one.
Oh, okay.
El Camino.
Yeah, they were in a bunch of movies too. I mean, they were using it in a bunch of movies. I remember there's a couple of movies where you can see them. I think, but they're easy. They're common cars, but somebody prefer Ranchero. The other one, Ranchero, but honestly, on here you can find a couple of them. Funny enough, most of the people that shop in my store, they use them for loading drywall and pipes and concrete and everything. I'm looking at them like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? There's an El Camino for loading concrete and drywall. I'm like, you're nuts. I'm about to.
When I bought that car I had originally, it was a nice piece for its age, but it would do 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds when I first got it, and it was an 88 350.
Mm-hmm.
But I had by the time I sold it, she could do 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds.
Wow. Now my wife has an old car in the garage. Is a Buick 58, 57. I don't remember. One of the two. The 58 or 57, a Buick, Katie. Nah, never mind. She's a toilet. I think it's a 58 Buick. So he's always trying to fix it, but it's an old car,
Yep, that's what you do with them. Fix them up all the damn time.
Yeah, the problem is just everything is expensive with those cars, But yeah, one of these days I might be able to. And now I only collect the little cars, so the 97 cents one. That's what I can afford right now, but in guns. But if I gotta pick up a new gun or a new car, I go for a new gun. I don't know, just me.
I could not afford the damn gun stuff and the car stuff. There's no way that could happen. Guns would have to come first. I just
yeah.
Gotta have your priorities, right?
Yeah. Well, it's something depend. You gotta, if you need for your family or something, you gotta drive around. You know what I mean? I'm the only one. We only have one car technically. It's using for go work. I don't.
No, we have 2 cars.
2 cars. Well, the Buick is in the back, but I mostly use.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, I'm not usually allowed to touch the Buick anyway.
Don't touch my car.
Rev split.
Yeah, so.
I had to go check on the kids. That my teenagers were being quiet, and that's not good. Nah, they were doing all right. They're just watching a movie.
Couch.
But yeah, when teenagers go quiet, it's worse than little kids going quiet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ought to investigate.
It's okay, don't worry.
Where the hell's Tony?
I got a friend of mine.
Chat it out now that he's doing them on his own channel again.
Probably.
We were up pretty late last night on his show.
Were you?
Well, he was. I cut out, but yeah, they had a late chat.
I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we were talking about stuff we've been talking about tonight. And he has a friend of his that's I think he's 22, and he said, yeah, he's really eager. He's like, you know, he's looking forward to some rebelling, and you know, there's nothing wrong with his passion. You know, it's good to have some passion. But I told him, you know, to get my friend, I said, I'm actually kind of afraid a little bit, you know.
Well, you should be, my friend. Well, you should.
I've endured 2 tours, so I'm not looking forward to any kind of shit here. But you know what? Honestly, what has to be done has to be done. So
No doubt, but you know what? No, you know, here's the thing. It happening over there, and I'm not a warrior, right? I've never been to war, none of that shit, right? And yet I can imagine how bad it would be here. And it would make the Balkans look like a tea party. You know what I'm saying? With the sectarian shit and everybody going into their own little corners to do their thing. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be pretty. And you know what? Death and blood and innocents dying and all that, that's going to need to get done. That's going to get done and going to need to get done. It's not something I'm looking forward to. You know, I'm not looking forward to me doing it. I'm not looking forward to my kid doing it. And I sure as hell don't want my grandchildren to even have the opportunity to think about it. I want them to learn about it in a history book.
Exactly. Yeah. I told you know, I told a few people, I said, I want to be 75 years old one day, sitting on the damn porch, eating some damn popcorn, telling the kids about this great war we had to have again, because of all the assholes before that they just didn't get it, and they didn't want to follow through on the obligation. So, you know, I want to be able to do that, but you know, I don't know if that's going to happen. So
why? But you know, I don't want it to start tomorrow, but I want it to start before my grandkids. You know, because it's too late for my kids. They're teenagers. You know, my son's 17. It's too late. You know, if anything happens, he's going to be involved. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that are like overly eager, I think a simple way to get them in a reality check is just go, okay, how are you going to eat when this all goes down? Because people have to understand the supports you're used to are going to be gone, if not severely degraded at a minimum. I mean, just the basics of eating are going to be a challenge.
And if you're not trying to educate yourself now on how to fucking survive, well, you're going to be fucked, bro. You're going to be extremely messed up for a while.
Yeah.
Well, not just surviving, but it takes a lot of food to feed an army, if you will, or to be able to.
You know, I mean, logistically speaking, you know, you can switch from one season to the other one. You know, you start camping out. It's maybe, let's see, it's summer for forensic. You know.
Here's the good thing about this country, though, that, you know, as terrible as a war could be here again, the good thing about it is we have a lot of resources that other countries don't have that we do here. A lot of support elements from people that will support us, and that's the good thing. And you know, there is some good in all the, you know, all this stuff. So something that to think about and muse on. But and it wasn't, you know, I didn't think about that actually. Someone threw that out to me one day and said, you know what, Patriot, don't worry so much, man. There's a lot of resources here. Even in a fucking civil war, if that were to happen, there's going to be plenty of people here that have food and shit stocked away to help out and survive and everything. So, you know, yeah, a lot of people, especially the people that don't work, that don't have a sense of duty to feed themselves and their families, they're really going to be screwed. And a lot of them will probably die or get injured or something and not be able to help themselves anymore. But
no, or they'll take the pay of the king, because the king will be offering everything in their mother up to do it, right?
Yeah.
They already are.
But, you know, the government won't have any more tax base in that point, so they're going to have to fucking,
they just inflate like every other government in war.
Hey, HTP, Whiskey Leech was asking if Tony deleted his chat from last night.
I don't know if it ever posted. I don't know.
Where is Tony at? I'm surprised.
Oh, I can tell you it posted. I saw it posted, and now it's gone. So.
Oh, okay.
Is he all right?
Oh, I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, okay.
Over. Yeah.
I haven't heard from him in a few, so.
Yeah, he did a chat last night.
Nobody invites me over, so I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't find anything.
I'm gonna do a quick shout out to the room.
My fucking drum broke, man. What the fuck?
Your what?
My drum, my AK drum.
I thought you said your drone.
Oh yeah, that would suck. No,
Yeah.
luckily it's just a drum. My 75 rounder.
How did it break?
Spring went out.
Really?
I wind it and it has some tension, and I wind it a little bit more and it gives away. It gives way. So I don't know.
Huh.
What is it? The anchor for the spring let loose, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Because it gets a little bit of tension and then it untensions itself.
Well, there's a. If you got that pamphlet like I did, it tells you how to take it all apart and everything.
Dude, I bought that drum so long ago. I don't even know if I still have it.
You know, J&G Sales has it online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I bought yours from there, so I know J&G Sales.
Yeah, and they have it online in their manuals down at the, at the bottom of their side menu or whatever.
Right.
And let me do a quick shout out. Tramp 701, Joel, Bass is out there. Black Wolf 357 Mag, Tommy Boy 9, DJ, Riddle Girl, Whiskey Leech. Whiskey Leech was the one that was asking about Tony. Let's see, go down. Optimus Android, Paul Pinkston, Ronnie Swanee, G Mangoes, America Died. What's up, G? And yeah, if you want to do one tomorrow early from Jamaica, that would be awesome, G. Let's see. Down where do I go?
Yeah, Mule, the other night when you passed out, you missed all the good reporting G did.
Great. Did I?
Oh, yeah, G was interviewing everybody. It was awesome.
Was he?
What time did you ever wake up on that one? Did that run all night or what?
Next morning, my son turned it off.
Okay. I was wondering who was going to shut that one down.
He's like, oh, I better go off air now. Blink, and he did. So, yeah, I heard you guys talking from the other room, and I was so fucked up. It wasn't funny. But the first
G
time
had
in a
that
while I
security.
had taken anything like that, you know? Fucking those kind of painkillers, so they hit me pretty good.
G had a security officer stalking him. He wanted to just smoke his bowl, but she kept following him around. It's like, bitch, leave me alone for a while.
Right, so I can go burn one. Maybe. I hope he's having fun in Jamaica.
Yeah, I had a friend today. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's told me about when he was at a park about 5 years ago. He was sitting at the park. He was only there for 2 minutes. And back then he had longer hair. He was there waiting on some friends to play volleyball, I think it was. Well, apparently some cop walks up to him 2 minutes after he's sitting there and says, I need to search you and search your vehicle. And he said, hell no, fuck off. And he said, wrong answer. So he said, I need to search your vehicle. My probable cause. Guess what his probable cause was? There's been drugs running through it was a public park. And I said, dude, he violated your Fourth Amendment rights, man.
Oh, yeah, it's the same one they always do. It's the long hairs, you know, to kids, to people of color. You know, they always come up with a reason to fuck with you in the park.
I was here at home the other day, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This black guy comes knocking on the door, and he was dressed professionally, so I opened up the door, and he was soliciting some Boys and Girls Club buying magazines, help fund the Boys and Girls Club, because here in my state they cut the funding, so they're out here trying to get money and everything. Well, I didn't have any money, so we eventually just talked for about 30 minutes. But as we're talking, a cop comes walking up and calls out to the black guy to go over there to him. So the guy goes over to him, And the cop is telling him a bunch of shit, and he said, I saw your friend walking through the complex. Apparently one of the neighbors probably called the cops, seeing black guys walk, because it's all white around here.
Right.
And, so apparently his partner didn't have his solicitor's license. And the cop was telling the guy that I was walking. Huh?
Inside that turns the spring and stuff.
Sting, your mic's hot.
Thank you, Chuck. Apparently, his partner, who was helping him out with the solicitation, didn't have his license on him. He accidentally left it at the office, and the cop was a fucking asshole. He was like, "If I see him over here again without their fucking license, I'm gonna arrest his ass." You know, he didn't say ass, but the guy came back over to me, and I told him, I said, "That's fucking wrong, man. There's no need to arrest anyone. The guy forgot his fucking thing. No big deal. Just, you know, no need to do all that shit." I said, "You know why that happened, right?" I said, "Because you're fucking black." I said, "You're all in a all white area, and somebody saw some people walking through here and called."
The funny part that I take away from that, because I expect the cops to act like cops, that's what they do, but you need a license to solicit in your state?
In the county, anyways.
Holy motherfucking shit. Wow, so you need a license.
And the thing is, this is a private property here, this complex, so they have a sign that says no solicitation. You got to respect private property. Well, they have a license, so they, you know, it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't, you know, the guy wasn't harassing me or nothing, and he wasn't doing that to anyone else, so people don't complain usually, but it's not the first time. But last year, twice, I had white people come up soliciting, you know, from the school and stuff, kids, and, you know, no cops were called. But if a black guy comes out here to try to do something good, fucking cop comes out.
That's just standard for most of America, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm from Atlanta, so, you know, I grew up in the hood, so I'm used to seeing that shit.
Alright, guys. I guess I'm gonna hit the bar.
See ya.
Yeah.
What's that?
See you, Brady. And Sting.
Long night. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for the chat.
Alright,
Fabrizio.
See you later, Fabrizio.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Watch your six. Bye.
Yeah.
Android says the part on the drum that breaks is the key inside that turns the spring.
Yep.
Is that what it's looking like for you?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, it turns, it winds up a little bit, but the next turn, or if I don't turn it at all and I just kind of let it go, you can feel it give way and untighten.
Right.
But yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. Sucks because I didn't realize that until I loaded it all up. Now I got to take all the bullets out and find a place for them.
Damn.
I was showing my wife my SKS earlier, and she was looking at it, and because she hasn't really looked at it before, and she was looking at it, and she said, "I don't like that rifle."
Why not?
I said, "Why not?" Because it looks menacing. She said, "I don't know. I just don't like it. I didn't grow up around guns." I said, "Well, honey, that's why I'm trying to teach you about them. I'm trying to get you used to them." She's not anti-gun. She doesn't really understand them. I said, "Honey, you got to respect this piece of machinery."
Just like you do a car, you know.
Car is a deadly weapon too.
Motorcycle.
As I told you though before, the car, yes, it's a deadly weapon, but they see it differently in their mind because first of all, everybody drives a car, right? So automatically you got that. Plus, a car, you can see it coming at least, hopefully. You know, it's not moving at 1,200 feet per second or faster. And so when you can't see this invisible death machine, you know, they get all freaked out.
You know, I never actually even thought of that as an argument, Sting, before.
Because sometimes I have valid points, goddammit.
People are afraid of what they don't they can't see or what they don't understand.
That's for sure, and that's why getting people, if you can get an anti-gunner out to the range, you can actually get them to put down their prejudices for a minute and at least learn a little bit about it. They can at least come away with a grudging respect. You know?
It's the same way we all got along and started liking black people. So why not?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, everybody was racist until you gave them a chance, and now, you know, we love all people, right? Well, it's the same thing with guns. Give guns a half a chance and learn about them. Maybe you won't be so racist against firearms.
Okay, well, I guess you can call it that because I grew up around every color under the sun, and I'm comfortable with every color under the sun.
Well, yeah, but that, you know, and the people that grew up around firearms,
and learning firearms from a young age, you're comfortable around them so they don't feel threatened by them. Yeah,
right.
I can see the analogy.
It was, I didn't grow up around weapons at all. Nobody had a gun in my homes. And it wasn't until I joined the Army that I got familiar with firearms, but, you know, I was not around them at all. In fact, even after I left the military, I didn't even buy a gun. I didn't even buy my first fucking rifle until last January, because up to that point, I never really felt the need to have one. But when I realized what the fuck's going on around here, the country, I'm thinking, I need to fucking be armed because, you know, I'm a patriot. I need to be fucking armed. I mean, kind of useless. Soldiers useless without his fucking weapons. So,
well, I was lucky. I grew up in a very armed family. Sorry, I was frozen. I was lucky. I grew up in a family that was very pro-gun. My dad worked for Ruger. It was mostly revolvers and stuff, but hey, at least it was something.
I did a lot. I did a lot of things like fishing and not hunting, but fishing and a lot of nature stuff growing up. But you know, never any shooting or anything. But you know, the funny thing is, you know, I grew up in the hood, and if you were white, you'd get picked on or beat up or robbed or something like that all the fucking time, and that, in fact, did happen to me when I was a kid. But bad guys had guns there. They'd shoot people all the fucking time. They'd shoot the cops and shit, gang members and everything. And sometimes I'm amazed that I didn't turn out to be a liberal.
Well, that's the problem. People watch these movies and they see, well, the two people that have guns, bad guys and good guys. There are no everyday citizens that carry firearms and defend their family from bad or good.
Yeah, not like when we used to watch the old westerns, and now all those old westerns are considered racist. But remember, you used to see the old westerns where you see some,
the rifleman
or whatever out there protecting his family, and from whatever, marauders, Indians, whatever. Right, but now all those movies are considered racist.
Those movies are great.
You're not talking about Blazing Saddles, are you?
Mm.
My dad grew up in this real conservative Christian household, and his word for poop was BM, and if we said anything else, we got scolded. He went to see that movie, and he came home and just said how disgusting it was. And everybody else is just like how silly and funny it is. Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm not all here. That's why I never. Uh-oh, what are you doing there, buddy? You cleaning your rifle? HD? Poor Sting, he comes back.
Say what?
I see you're cleaning your rifle.
Yeah, I got to get around to cleaning it every now and then.
Poor
I got
Sting.
so much rust. I'm blaming the fucking environment for my drum failing. God damn it! It's all that goddamn rust.
He comes home with a rusty AK from being in Kansas and Illinois.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, sneak up on you if you're not used to being in the humidity. We don't have that problem out here. You can put the gun down for 6 months and wouldn't phase it.
That's right.
You know, I live in Missouri, and you know it's fucking humid as hell out here. But I keep my shit all spick and span.
Yeah, out east you're gonna have to keep a lot more lube or something protected on them. Out here, I mean, you can keep your gun almost dry and it won't rust.
Even my Allen wrench set is all rusted to hell. I gotta clean everything. At
What'd
least
you do, out in the rain?
No, I wasn't out in the rain. I had blue skies everywhere except for when I was traveling, right? So when I got to Mules, it was blue skies. When I was in Kansas, it was mostly blue skies. We were never in the rain. It was just the environment of being humid that did it.
It's not even real humid yet. Wait till August in Illinois. Then it's really fucking miserable.
It was humid in Kansas. I've been in humidity. I lived in Wisconsin for 10 years, and that sucked. And there was a reason why I don't miss it. But, yeah, the rust thing is a pain in the ass. Apparently I need to lubricate things, like, a lot if I'm ever going to leave this state.
Yeah, for sure. Once you get east of Colorado, it's all downhill.
Yeah, I grew up in Georgia, guys, and humidity. Yeah, it's subtropical down there. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to say that. The worst humidity I had was August in central Georgia. And it would fucking every afternoon it would rain for about a half hour and the sun would come out and it'd just be miserable as fuck. I mean, even at midnight it was fucking miserable.
The only things that didn't rust were the Glocks and the AR, so.
But also people down there know to keep their iron well lubed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like HDP was saying, and me and Russ were talking about earlier, was the fact that out in the desert everything dries up so much that any natural oils that were in the metal are gone. You know.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Mule, a little bit off subject. You'll be happy to know your Tapcos are a little bit lighter than Magpul's.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm running Tapco.
And they got thicker feed lips than the Magpuls.
Yeah.
And the lugs didn't break off like the Magpuls did on most of the people's tests. So. But Magpul, if they do come out with the ones with the metal inserts, where it has metal reinforced feed lips and metal locking lugs, then they'll overtake Tapco as a better magazine.
Yeah, it's just a half an ounce, brother. It's not that big a deal. Come on now.
Right?
Yeah, but if you're running 50 of them.
Well, that was about that
over a
whole
pound.
video I did not too long ago, steel versus polymer, and just with the Magpul versus the steel, it's such a big difference that if you're running a full rig of 10 magazines, that's 3 pounds if you're running steel versus polymer. 3 pounds.
Oh, yeah. AK mags, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my AR aluminum doesn't really make much difference.
My AR is heavier than my AK, though, unfortunately.
Your AR is heavier than your AK? How's that possible?
Surprising.
I got, the Bumsky, the stainless steel barrel, a lot of reasons.
Oh, yeah? That's not a real AK, then. That's some
No, he's
space
got
age
a
stuff.
underfolder. No, the AR is the one with all the space age shit.
Yeah. The
How is it
AR has
lighter?
the stainless. The AR is heavier than my AK. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
I know it shouldn't be, but it is because I have all that shit on my AR. That's what I'm saying.
Why would you need all that stuff on your AR? It's fine the way they are.
You say so.
You see the drink holder, the ashtray, the toilet paper
Right.
dispenser.
If you can't have fun at the range, what the hell are you going out there for?
Well, and you know what? That Bumsky was fun as fuck, okay? And that thing's all metal. Okay, so it's more metal in the ass end of that gun than it is normally.
It's actually aluminum, but yeah, it's metal. Just to clarify, it was aluminum metal.
Oh, aluminum's still a metal.
Yep.
I didn't say it was steel, because I didn't know what kind of metal.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, and that was worth it. That thing's fun as fuck.
It's fun, for sure.
You want a real heavy rifle is a fucking Tommy gun. I got a friend with a Tommy gun, and that bitch is heavy as fuck.
I got to shoot one full auto here a few years back. And it was just fun.
Don't you still? Isn't it still in your video feed?
Yeah, it's a ways back, but yeah, it's still there.
I remember seeing that back then.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Asked the guy how much. He's like, 12 grand. Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh.
So what are you taking her out? You taking her back out to do more burpees this week?
It's revenge. Sorry.
You never know.
Yeah, your range time makes me all fucking. I'm like, damn, I'm a ticket to range. I just go to have fun.
That's right. I ain't fooling nobody. I ain't gonna pretend I'm some sort of, military guy running and gun. Fuck that shit. I'm going there to have fun. I have my AK if I need to use that for anything serious, but other than that, fuck it. I ain't gonna try to fool myself.
Sometimes, and that's where I am gonna miss that other range because moving and shooting is fun. Yeah, I'm only playing, I'm playing John Wayne in my head when I'm doing it, but it's still fun. I have to admit I'm a little boy in that sense, especially when I'm at the range. I'm safe and everything, but I like playing. I like having a little bit of fun. And no, I'm not an operator. I could say I'm training, quote unquote, but I know I'm just going out there being a little kid at heart, with the cap gun that actually has bullets in it.
It's most of people that go and do that kind of shit.
That's like you're talking about taking new people out to the range, let them shoot a couple of exploding targets. I mean, who doesn't like a firework or a big bang,
Oh, yeah. Especially when TJ comes to town, he comes ready.
That boy was ready.
Man, I wish I wish things hadn't rolled the way they did because that would have been fun to see. TJ rolled ready. He brought some big old tannerite down. Well, I don't even remember the name of it. It wasn't tannerite.
No, but it was like, big old canister. Had to be at least 5 pounds, probably more.
We were, and it just got too dark to be able to shoot it. That sucked so bad.
I got a stick next to it.
No, plus we were a little close for the size of that for me to be comfortable. You know what I mean?
I put up some videos last couple weeks. I was at the range, and I got this 30-06, no fucking scope on it, no fucking iron sights on that bitch. That's how it came from the store, and I'm 25 yards away from the target, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot when you don't have a fucking scope. So, or no fucking iron sights. And I'm aiming for the chest, for the heart area on the target, and I could not see where the rounds were going. And
well, you can't really bore sight it. I mean, you're gonna have to get some kind of glass, and then try and grab some kind of bore sighter. They sell them at Walmart, and that'll actually help you sight in all your firearms to make sure you're on paper to be able to zero it in.
Well, I've got most of my stuff zeroed in, but the 30-06 I'm gonna buy a scope for. But on the video, I show the target, and I only shot 4 rounds through it that day. But if you look at the video, you'll see at the end I actually hit right near the bullseye 3 times without being able to see. So 3 out of 4, I definitely killed my target.
How do you like the 30-06?
Oh, I mean, beautiful round, power, good rifle. I'd like to have a 308,
but...
but...
Savage?
Huh?
Would you get a Savage?
Yeah, it's a Savage.
They make good guns.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost sold that rifle, actually, but glad I kept it.
Uh-oh. Is that you, Jim? Were you at the range? Ooh, something blew up with Jim.
Yeah, that was Memorial Day weekend. I was wishing everybody a bang up weekend. Yeah.
Right. I liked your
2 pounds.
walk, Jim.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I pray almost every day. I go out there and drink a beer, just walk around, and just for a walk.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
And then stinking
There's a 2
Pioneer
pounder.
over there, exercise, walking for the revolution, and putting out a burpees, fucking shooting goddamn video, making me feel all lazy and shit.
Yeah, even Kansas made a range trip. What?
Right?
That was cool. Nothing like blowing up birthday cake with tannerite.
Blowing up any kind of tannerite. Yeah. So, what are you doing this weekend, HD? You going to the range? Gonna do some shooting?
We'll see what happens. It'd be nice. We haven't shot the small guns in a while.
Right? Only you and Lady 308 been out there?
Well, I mean, just need to get the little guys out there.
Right. What about you, Patriot? You going to be doing some little bit of range time this weekend if you can?
Actually, that's a good question. Glad you asked. I don't know, but I'd like to. So we'll see.
I know what I'll be doing. I'll be stocking up on ammo for a while.
Right? Me too. I'm so depleted in stores. It almost makes me nervous.
I haven't bought no
It was
ammo.
worth every round. What about you, Jim? You doing any shooting this weekend?
Oh, I'm sure some people will be out. Father's Day, you should be, usually get to do some shooting on Father's Day.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
So what about you, Third? Is that you in? The Silent Dragon over there, Third? Who's the Silent Dragon?
I thought that was you.
No, I'm the Noisy Dragon with the magazine. I'm not the only Green Dragon Tavern Chats magazine. It's one of a kind.
They're all one of a kind.
I know. Mine's badass. Badder asser than everybody else's.
Even the ones I don't have yet.
I don't care. Mine's the best, and that's what I'm going to say forever and ever and ever and ever.
There you go. Sucks too. I got these nice magazines coming. I can't even fucking use them. I'm going to put the rifle somewhat together just so I can show them off, and after that, that's about all I can do with it for now.
Well, I saw Godzilla last weekend. Took the wife out. Saw the movie, and it's worth the money.
I see Godzilla every time I look down. Hey, how you doing?
Oh,
Makes that noise too.
Oh, Johnny.
Now the thing is, I went to the theater, and you know about the theater shootings and shit, and I'm like, I'll be damned if I go to fucking theater and some motherfucker starts shooting people. So I took my 45 and my 380, put them in a waistband. So in case some stupid motherfucker started acting stupid.
I carry everywhere there's not an armed guard and a metal detector. I carry to the airport to pick up my daughter. I carry to her school. I carry to the post office. If you don't have an armed guard and a metal detector, I'm carrying there. I don't care what the rules say.
They had an armed guard in the damn theater while walking around and stuff. And but just in case somebody decides to start shooting up in a Godzilla film, I mean, hopefully, hopefully it doesn't happen. Actually, I don't want that to happen.
But you're going to be prepared if it does. That's the whole thing. That's why we carry in the first place, because you never know when evil is going to come to you, and you've got to be prepared for that. And I'm not going to risk my life hoping that some armed guard at a fucking movie theater is going to save my ass. Fuck that. My protection lies with me, and that's the first and the last in my mind.
Yeah, I think the most evil we had at the damn theater that night was these two kids were making out and shit next to my wife, and they were ticking her off, so I kept getting up and getting down, so. But they definitely redeemed themselves with that movie, though. Definitely beats the '98 version.
I can't wait until Dumb and Dumber 2 comes out. Have you guys seen the trailer for that?
I ain't watching that shit. Fuck that. Fucking Jim Carrey. Fuck him.
Right.
I like the first one, of course. I mean, I'd watch it just because it's 20-something years old now, but we rarely go out. I mean, we rarely go out and spend any money at anything. So, and we usually just, I have a 40-inch flat screen TV, and I hook it up to my computer. So I use it as a computer monitor so I can watch everything on the computer. I just download what I want to watch and watch it at home. I don't even, we rarely go out. Too expensive.
Yeah, it's like $50 to go to a movie after the tickets and the popcorn and the drinks and all that.
Well, I paid it's $10.75 a ticket for 2 adults, so 21 something for the 2 tickets. Then I bought a large drink and a medium popcorn cost me $11 or $12. Then you get free refills on the drink, but and after that I had my wife go grab me a hot dog. The hot dog was like $4. So I spent $40 that night.
It's funny, Russell complaining about having to unload a magazine. Most other people don't complain about unloading magazines.
Well, it depends on how you unload it, of course. Come on. I love unloading my drum magazine that way with the Bumsky. I don't care who you are. Oh, it's not tactical. It's fun. 150 rounds in fucking 15 seconds. That's fun as all hell.
Well, I wonder if your spring was fucked up then when you were at Mules. That was the first time it showed up that way.
You know what's really cool is that when you're getting to know your neighbors and you don't know where they stand on things, so you just meet them and you start talking and shit. Looks like a pair of boobs.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's 150 rounds, so you can
Um.
bitch all you want, but when it's coming down, it's pretty badass.
I went up one of my neighbors. I didn't know him. I just started talking to him one day. I just walked into him and started talking to him. Turns out, as I'm talking to him, I told him, I said, well, I'm a constitutionalist, and that's where I stand. And he says, well, guess what? I'm a constitutionalist too. I'm not a Republican or.
Got to Rev. Rev would have shot you. Rev almost shot his neighbor the other day coming up wanting to borrow an air compressor.
Really?
Rev's a dick.
Rev's the grumpier one of the bunch, so.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Hey, I know where I can put those extra rounds from the drum. I got these 40 rounders.
I tell you what, I showed you guys last time I was in here. Last time I was in here was beginning of May. You guys don't ever invite me, so I don't ever come in. But I got that SIG, and I told I'm in love with that SIG. I love the SIG. I always hold it and caress it and shit. Like right now, real smooth piece. I love my weapons, so.
Yeah, it sounds like you have one of those disorders. You know what I mean?
No, it just had to, you have to think back to that moment in football. This is my rifle. This is my gun.
This is one for shooting. This one's for fun.
And I caress my firearms sometimes too.
Just because a 12 gauge is the right diameter does not make it right.
How's Wasser doing? Has anybody heard?
I don't know. I've heard that he was in a chat, but they were in a chat when I was on my way back, so I wasn't able to join it or anything.
Well, okay, but is he doing okay? Is he doing better? Is he, because he's going through chemo now, right? Because he's turned out he had Wasser 10. Please keep him in prayers, everybody out there. Okay, Wasser 10, a good friend on the YouTube for me. and for a thing or two, I think I could speak from in that sense.
He's on the fucking rifle. He better be a friend.
Damn right. Anyway, is sick and he has cancer, and it turned out. Just keep him up in prayers. He's going through a lot right now, and when he wants to let people know about it, he'll let them know about it. But we can still just keep him up in prayers. All right, so please keep, say a prayer for Wasser 10 or Mark 1616. Those are the two names he was known of on YouTube. So just keep him in mind, whatever you do. Right? I'm going to pray to God. Okay.
Praying to God.
Yeah, Mark hooked me up with a Spyderco. It's one of the prizes given away, I think, in one of the early dragons. So thank Mark for that.
Oh, fuck, man. See, God damn it. And I always eliminated myself with those things.
And which contest was it that Fabrizio won in 1911, so I know if I won the one I was entered in or not?
I will have to go back and check.
Oh, don't worry about it. Just thought you might know. That's bullshit, man. I want to win a fucking 1911. What the hell?
I'm just happy he did. I'm happy a friend did.
That is true.
Would I want one myself? Of course. But am I glad that he won it? Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll get to shoot it.
Yeah. You live close enough to do that shit, you bastard.
I actually win when it comes with Breeze winning. I'll at least get to see it and shoot it. And maybe next time we can have Jim drive in from the other way. Meet in the middle.
That's right. You're talking about the divorce settlement. That I want visitation with the firearms. So.
I'm hoping to get my Saiga. Hopefully I'll have my Saiga next time I visit.
That's pretty cool to hear that he won that. I had totally spaced that. Thanks for reminding me, Sting.
Yeah.
That is cool. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy because it didn't happen to me. So. Are you unloading or loading?
Loading the 40 rounders with the ammo that I had in the drum.
So you'll be 5 rounds short and you'll get all OCD on it.
Oh, I got the boxes ready to go. Luckily, I still had enough to fill all my magazines at least one more time.
Hey, I think Apex, right? I think they sell parts to that drum, maybe. They'd be the first place I'd check if I were you.
Yeah, I got some researching to do tonight or tomorrow, one of the two. I ain't too worried about it. I gotta store more ammo before I shoot it anyway.
I'm doing some moving this weekend.
But now you didn't keep that wound all the time, right? You kept it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Obviously, since it failed on me when I was trying to be all cool and shit. Whoops. That sucks. I've only dumped that mag maybe 4 times, 5 times maybe. Not a lot.
Well, I'll tell you, those 7, while they're fun, they are definitely meant more for being stationary than they are for moving around.
And that's why I like the drum so much, because I'm not one of these people that have a rig set up with, 10 magazines and all this fucking gear. Fuck that. I'm staying home. I'm bugging in. And if you come and knock on my door in a shit hit the fan scenario, I'm going to be ready to stay put.
And pile the bodies at the door, huh?
Until they shoot tear gas in the fucking house.
That's what a gas mask's for.
And Tommy Boy, even though Tommy Boy out there in the chat room, even though my AR fails, it's not because it's an AR, all right? It's a piston. I'm trying to make it an AK, and it's custom as all hell. So a regular AR works just fine. The one that I gave away to Kansas, his never failed, but it's no fun because I already said my AK and my Glocks are boring as all hell because they always shoot every time I pull the trigger, and they always hit what I'm aiming at unless I'm not aiming very well. And so I don't ever shoot them. What's the fun if it works every time you pull the trigger?
He likes a challenge.
Yes. Fix the problem. Can we fix it? Yes, we can.
Oh, you're Bob the Builder now?
Yep.
Bob the AK builder, can you fix it? No, I don't need to, because it's an AK.
That's right. My AK, even though it's rusty, if I didn't clean up that rust, it'll still work for, however, a couple hundred years.
Yep. Until there wasn't enough metal in the thing to shoot it, but yeah.
Well, guys,
it's all pitted.
Oh, what fucking time is it?
guys, it was good talking and everything, listening to y'all. But I gotta go. I gotta get up early. So.
See ya.
Hey, glad you get in, Patriot.
Yeah, just ask when you're in the external chat. Say, hey, link me. And
How do I get? I mean, how do I get here? Because I don't even know how to access.
It's on YouTube.
Sub the Green Dragon.
Yeah, if you're sub to the Green Dragon, you'll catch their feed in the feed. But I sent you a link today to get in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How do you get into the actual chat from outside?
Somebody has to invite you.
You have to have a link.
And y'all never invite me. I'm fucking offended.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. We don't invite a lot of people.
Yeah. There's a core group. They get invited every single time, and then it's guests, we'll say.
Unless Tony's running it, and then everybody's invited.
Huh? Well, no, and you know what? And for a long time, we were letting anybody in at any time they asked, and it just got all crazy and fucked up. And now it's a little more discretionary for the most part.
Well, we stay on topic a little bit more often now, too. Not all the time, but a little bit better.
Right. We don't talk about donkey porn as much as we used to, which I kind of miss. You know, I miss some of those days when we went off the rails sharing, crazy
Two
ass
girls,
crap.
one cup, and all that shit.
Yeah. But we've really evolved past that, or grown up a little more past that, and, now we do try and stay on topic more.
There's a bit of news. I don't know if anybody's talking about what's going on in Iraq. How all them militant groups are just fucking overrunning the place. And I just heard it on coast to coast. They're talking about the Iranians are sending fucking people into Iraq too. So our 10-year investment really doesn't pay off.
And yeah, you're right. It is going crazy over there, and they're asking for us to come back. How crazy is that shit? And yeah, Riddle Girl, you're right.
Don't tell her that, then I'll never hear the end of it.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the whole world's going fucking batshit, right? I mean, you got shit in Ukraine, right? And then you got NATO and Russia playing border games, right, where they have comparable forces wargaming on either side of a border over there in Eastern Europe, right? You got China and Japan fucking rattling sabers, and Vietnam, North and South Korea rattling sabers up in the South China Sea, right? Is anything going on? Oh, Venezuela, and Thailand, and Turkey, and of course the Middle East, because when does that stop boiling?
And there will be wars and rumors of wars in the Middle East.
But yeah, it's George Carlin had a good routine talking about all these wars going on all over the world. Oh, they're not wars; they're police actions.
Yeah, but that was back in the Vietnam days. Right now, they're just calling them fucking wars. I mean, they don't even take a fuck anymore. They don't try and change the noon de chlor or whatever. You know what I mean? They're just calling it straight up War Inc. these days. Oh, it's just crazy. So who knows what's going to happen, And I'm just worried about it all because my kid's, he's a young man. Soon enough, he's going to be out of high school.
Yep.
And if he don't join, who's to say by then they don't reinstill the draft? That'd be a great way to get rid of all the dissidents in the, at least with the youth not getting jobs. I mean, this is going to be another summer without.
Well, not only that.
High school working. You know?
Well, not only that, Mule, but if you do the draft, then you're going to get a better percentage of people that will do what they're told versus people that come from a conservative family and would never fire on the American public.
Well, what do you think these 40,000 illegals are for? That's the next generation.
Voting?
Who have they've grown up in police states. They don't know anything but police oppressing people, so they have no problem doing it to other people.
Right? And now I heard something about this thing with all the kids coming up on the border. I read it in Brian Hart, right? Brian Bark, whatever it is. And they were talking about, I just caught the headline because I was kind of busy. But they were saying something about how they want to bring the families of these kids up now to take care of them.
They're going to bring as many people as they can across the border. It's whatever hook or crook they're going to.
At this point, right? It's like, fucking free day at Yankee Stadium or something. You know what I mean? First come, first serve. You better get in before they close the doors.
Oh, they're not going to close that door.
But that shit, I mean, you guys, Stinger should probably be seeing it already in his local paper and whatnot. Are you having a heavy influx of illegals coming up? Are you
Yeah, in the South. In the South, it's not as bad here as it is in Texas and California, because here is a little bit different. We got the local people that are a little bit more against that. We got farmers down at the Mexico border that ain't afraid to pop them as they're coming across on their land. California and Texas and New Mexico, it's a little bit easier of a trek for them to do. So that they usually try those avenues before they come through Arizona.
Okay.
If they step foot on your land, you have every right to shoot them in the eyes of the law around here. And some other I don't know the laws in the other border states, but I know other states, they have to be inside your house. So here it's just on your land.
Right. Well, because all the crap that I'm reading online and crap, I still think of them as the papers, as my people my age will.
Yeah.
Right, Jim? Back me up on that one, buddy, please.
What's that again?
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to listen to Coast and trying to find the George Carlin routine where he talked about all the wars and shit. But
Right. No, I was just making an old joke, that's all, on myself, trying to get you to back me up.
Yeah, we all remember when they were written in stone with a little chisel.
Yep. No, I was born after the printing press, thank you. The Gutenberg Bible had already been made. Anyway, let me shout out the chat room because I'm about ready to wind this puppy down. It's just, I really don't understand what people think a revolution would look like in this country.
It's going to be bad. And you're going to be the bad guy. You're going to be the bad guy.
No matter what.
Your family's going to hate you. Your mother or dad or your uncle or cousin, they're going to try to turn your ass in. And they're going to call you a terrorist and a murderer, a baby killer. You better be ready for that shit. Because if you go to war with the government, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. And, no revolution's ever pretty. It's never, death is never pretty.
You're not going to war with no government. You're going to war with your neighbor.
Oh, welcome back, Rebel. Nice of you to join right as we're about to end.
Yeah, you guys bore the fuck out of me. I can't help it.
Oh, yeah, I know. We were talking about Camaros. It was boring me, too. So.
Nobody likes Camaros? Come on, now.
That's not what the chat is about. You want to start up a dragon all about Camaros? Fine. Keep it on subject.
Just saying.
No, I'm a gearhead. Don't get me wrong.
Anyway,
I like Camaros.
Anyway, let's start. Third op. Are you still in? Can you do a shout out, or are you just like asleep at the switch back there? Or whoever that silent dragon has been tonight.
He's just here to record what we say, not to participate.
All right. Hey, Jim, you got any shout outs you want to do? Because for The 33 people, we're going to say goodnight here in a minute.
Oh, no, I can't really think of anybody's shout-outs, but we were talking about cars in a sense. There was a revolution that occurred not that long ago because everybody in high school was gearheads. They worked on cars. They had shop jobs. They did all the manufacturing and all that type of shit. And now it's all been replaced with, computers and electronics. So that's a revolution that happened.
That would be a great subject for a chat one night, huh?
Right? Switching over from industrial revolution to the digital.
Mm-hmm.
Well, HDP, you still around? Well, he's there somewhere. But,
you guys bored him to death too, I guess.
Right? He fell out of his chair. What about you, Reb? Any shout-outs you want to do before we turn this puppy off?
Yeah, why not? Let's shout out Ford Rocks and Iron Horseman, Wild Iron Horseman, and G Mangoes, DJ Moore.
Fucker.
And that's it. And thanks for everybody else.
Shout out TJ. He had me cracking up a couple of times in the chat room. What about you, Stang?
Well, I want to shout out Mule Team since he felt so butthurt when I forgot to shout him out in his own house. And to everybody who helped with the Kansas project, that was really cool. So I'll give a shout out to Kansas. Congratulations on your AR, buddy. And to everybody who helped make that possible, you're all good guys in my book. So.
Even when we're assholes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Going once on third op. Third op. Third op. Going once. Twice. Gone. HTP. Going once. Twice. Gone. All right. We'll talk to you Sunday. Have a good night, everybody.